What's up, y'all? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What the fuck is poppin'? It's D-Lo fucking Stacks. What the fuck you doing in my motherfucking tracks? Like, what the fuck you doing? Like, what the fuck you doing? Whew. I'm not even gonna get started right now because I'm off Absolute right now. Original. And I can't do all my dances and all the movement that I really be doing because I might fucking pass out. So, nobody ain't got time for that shit. So, with that being said, we just finna set shit up. You feel me? Hiya. W string, let me see. 1 versus 1 real quick. Join this map on Fortnite. That's a bet. That's a bet. I'll do that. Hey, you still here though? Give me a follow though. Give me a follow though, and I'll do it. Real shit. Let me see. Hold on. Just to make sure you're not bullshitting with me. I need a fucking follow before I do this. Seriously. And the last follow that I got was 3 days ago. So give me a follow, then I'ma do it. Cause I never got nobody to chat on this bitch before I actually, you know, went with the move. Cause I was gonna go play Fortnite anyway, but I wanna make sure that you follow me first before I go do that. Cause that's all I play is solos. That's all I play is solos. So that's not even gonna be a problem, you feel me? I need a follow before I do that though. I ain't gonna lie, I need a follow. Yeah, right now I do not see anything, bro. Don't see it. I don't see it. Let me pull up. Hold on. Let me pull up my stream manager right quick. Because ain't no fucking way. Rewards by watching D-Lo Stack. Oh, Fortnite got dropped. Okay, that's a bit. That's a bit. That's a bit. Hey, before I talk shit. Look, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's how you can tell who the fuck is bots, bro. That's how you can tell who the fuck is bots. Like, that don't make no fucking sense to me, bro. Now, you can at least try to make it seem like you're not a bot. But you're on that bot shit. Like, you over here trying to get me to use your fucking map code, but not communicating with a nigga. It's crazy. It's crazy. Cause why the fuck are you trying to communicate with a nigga to get a nigga to do shit, but you're not really a person? Bitch. And see, that's why I'm skeptical on getting bot viewers, but I need my bot viewers so I can get to affiliate, so I might have to do that. Cause ain't no fucking way that I'm just gonna have to just deal with this shit. Ain't no fucking way. Ow! 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 Ooh, I jammed my fucking finger. Ooh, shit. Oh, shake back. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Ooh. 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 All right, put that right there. This. I ain't gonna cool. Hey, not for real. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I want that to stay official. I ain't gonna lie. I want that to stay official. Okay. Okay. This. All right. That, and this. Okay. Wait. Oh, if that nigga call me, I'm not answering. I'm sorry. Talking about my homeboy Joe. The only reason I'm saying that is because I already called this nigga and he didn't fucking answer his phone. So I already know I never answer his phones all the time like that. But bitch, it's your birthday and you asked me specifically for something. And yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Alright? Okay. With that being said, let me get this. And I say what? See, you ain't give me no follow yet, bro. You all in my fucking chat, but you ain't give me no fucking follow yet. Bitch. Let's see you online right now, man. y'all. Season 4 finale? I thought it was the series finale. So they coming out with another season? RIP Circle K corner of Foster and Evangeline. They messed up the city with this. What? They messed up the city with this one. Damn, I was there Thursday. What the fuck? Oh shit. Thought somebody under 500 pounds said something. This girl here. Dipping her shit in Polynesian sauce shop. Man, let me get off this phone. Ooh, let me get off this phone. 5, 4, 3, 2. me about to play Fortnite, that means I'm gonna have to turn the Wi-Fi off on this phone. Matter of fact, let me turn it off on the other phone right quick. Okay. Pull me about. You feel me? I got dope, 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 dope. I finally got dope. So. With that being said, we put this back right here. And I'm going to take this right here. And I'm going to pull it all out here. Let me make sure I got everything out, at least the loose shit. Alrighty. Boom. Alright. Wait. Ain't got time for that. Whoop, whoop. Shit. I just realized. Hold on. Alright. Pull me about. I'm gonna put this one down first and bring this one right behind it. And I'm gonna turn it on just in case. Alright. Pull me about. Pull me about. Pull me about. Everything is looking good. I know this is so like random, but let me get this out the way. Ooh. Ooh. I don't think that's enough, but that's good enough for right now. Ooh, shit. Okay, Bobby, boom. Boom. All right. So, first of all, we're gonna get the spoon right here. Second of all, we're gonna put this controller right here. Third of all, we finna go to this right here. And we just gonna Move that camera display down. Keep it right there. Wait, I was about to say, where is... Shit. Alright. 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 Yeah, we gonna... Oh, crush. Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! You my Morphin Power Rangers! Yeah. We might get a game in, we might not. Because y'all already see that I haven't got on earlier. So, yeah. When you take melatonin.
All right, Dream Team. Tommy's just about asleep, so I want to...
What? I'm gonna watch that later. Alrighty. I'm about to say that's the new team thing.
Okay. So, this whole deal is causing a backlash from the fans, and I want to make sure that I have it correct. Because from what I understand, WWE is going to ESPN 2026, but there's a confusion of the price.
All right. That's the audio.
Desktop day with Octavius Caldwell Pope. Yesterday, okay, chat, understand. Yesterday was a good day until stuff ain't started going our way. Everything that could go right was going wrong. Bingo, fishing, karaoke. But it's a new day again. The odds gotta be in our favor today. We have a long ass day. I know it says desktop stream, but we have a long ass day. Well, I'm gonna make sure we give y'all a little desktop. Where's luck? Shit! Octavius! Yo, he's Caldwell Pope. How do you do, my guy? Bobby. Shit!
We gonna rob him. We gonna take his face off. Alrighty. I'm not seeing anything on the recommended page. So, here's what I'm finna do. I'm finna press 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wait. Yeah, fuck that. subscriptions. All right, we're gonna go over and over and over and over. But it's not coming up. Why is it not coming up? Do I gotta turn the Wi-Fi off on this too? Oh, I didn't turn the Wi-Fi off on this. I ain't gonna turn it off until I play. And most likely, I might not play. Just cause I'm drunk right now, bro. Like I'm drunk. I'm not full of liquor, but I'm drunk.
You see with you?
So I'm gonna just go down until I see something that I want to watch. And it's probably gonna stop right here because this is where I was in the morning. So already watched that. Don't want to watch Neighbors. Don't want to watch Suicide Squad. But should I? Nah, I'm gonna go to Real Reject. Wait, I'm gonna Stroke Next right quick. Alrighty, 9 days ago, yep. Yep. Not New Rockstars, Real Rejects. And we're gonna watch Eyes of Wakanda. Woo-hoo. Wait, should I watch Shazam? I'm gonna watch Shazam tomorrow. I'm gonna watch Shazam tomorrow because most likely I might watch the Suicide Squad. So okay, so yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm doing the right thing. Where is it? Right. Boom. So yeah. We're finna do that while I eat some of this good ass chili that my aunt made. I'm not even finna smoke right now because I want to get some food on my stomach. I really haven't eaten like that today. Like I had a salad, and that's it. Real shit. So I'm about to get to eating.
Stand by these guys. Fighting for what you rightfully deserve.
Who me?
Citizens and Wakandans of the Reject Nation, welcome back. Today, Koi and I are here for a very special 4-part reaction. We're watching The Eyes of Wakanda. We're watching all 4 episodes in one video here, so if you want to click around to each episode, you can do
Boss,
that.
with just chatting right quick.
Section.
Hold on.
But before we
Hold
get
on.
into this video, Koi, how you doing today, man?
I have no voice, but I'm well. I have not stopped talking since May, and finally my voice said no. So if I sound like this, I'm sorry. The eyes of Wakanda are strong. The throat of Ireland is weak. I'm so tired.
The Third of Ireland, that is
I did
phenomenal.
13 THR interviews in 2 days, and then I worked 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, and then on Sunday I had gone to like stuff at night, so I've not recovered. And that was after Superman 6 months, and after Fantastic Four, and then now this so tired.
Good God, man. Maybe you get to rest your eyes in Wakanda after this.
I hope so.
Oh, man. I'm doing okay. It's been a busy freaking week in the life of Aaron here. You know, we both been dealing with things. We've been helping my girl move, like some car issues.
Across town.
Her mom's been
It's like a 20-minute.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we both got a lot of stuff, so it's been like 12, 13 hour days packing. But that's neither here nor there. I'm ready to take a break from that and watch this Marvel show. Thank you so much for being here. But we need your help. We need for fighting the evil forces that are
Anyways,
strikes.
let's go full screen right quick.
And going over to Patreon, where Greg and John do exclusive movie and shows over there, all kinds of goodies. And yeah.
Bro, it be sounding like... And it do! I thought I'd be tripping. Oh, I thought I'd be tripping. I be like, bro, it be sounding like it be dripping in this bitch. Where could it come from, though? I don't feel no witness at the bottom. I really don't feel no witness at the bottom. I don't guess it's coming through this hole right here with the power cord, whatever. That's crazy. That is crazy. And I've been hearing that for like the last week now, bro. Like real shit. Probably like longer than that. But it's all good. It's good.
What colors do they fly?
Hold on. Y'all see the swag though. Bird fit.
Drum right at the top. Love it.
Very cool.
Yeah, Mark Starr.
85, 86 hardwood classic.
This is art style. It's so cool.
It's like
Real
a
shit.
mix between animatics, clay painting.
And I got the green Adidas fit on. Got the Snorlax socks on. With the Nikes. Yeah, I got Adidas with Nikes on. Fuck y'all. I'm not rich, but I love Nike.
One day only.
All this great scholars good love. Thank you for this football. Here we fed nigga off my day every minute.
Talking drum right at the top. Love it.
Very cool.
Yeah, Mark Starr.
Oh, this is art style. It's so cool.
It's like a mix between animatics and clay painting. Who's the producer? Shit.
I'm so happy we're confiscating something to show.
Yeah. One day only.
For one day only. You know, Disney, we gotta talk about it. Releasing all these black shows in one day.
What colors do they fly?
Ah,
Interesting. I love their fits.
So far, I like the colors more than the animation style, but I think I just have to adjust.
Yeah, it's definitely different than what I'm accustomed to as well, but I am liking the textures.
Yeah, the palette is cool, like the choices they're in, but the actual animatic style is odd to me.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, I love the painting in the background.
Yeah, that really sings. The kids call that aura farming, and it's effective.
Yeah? He is him, as the kids also
That's
say.
the kids also say.
Those who embrace this new life under his divine hand will rise. Those who resist will be
Only remorse.
We assure you, to be touched by the lion's grace is to know true freedom.
I don't trust him.
Let me some Panther
Somebody needs to stop it.
That's gonna be you.
Yes, we agree. Thanks to those small parts of your explosion, he does not move.
Oh my God.
Never see it coming. Bring the lion and stolen Nashi, and you will be the one welcome back as a Jordan Nashi. Once more,
Okay. Get this set up.
this red mask.
Ah.
Women
Fuck yeah.
must stay on mission. Accept no distraction.
I need some smoke. So
Fall in love with somebody.
That's why I'm finna take a break right now.
Set no distraction.
let me take one more bite.
Where is the lion? You will learn to love him too.
I like the animation, movements, and color. I think it's just design.
2 more bites.
I can't quite shake the layering or something in it.
This ain't the designs themselves.
Yeah, it's like I like the way they move. I like the way the color works. There's something about like some of the older stylized versus like some stuff looks photorealistic and some stuff looks very cartoony. So my brain is having a hard time.
I don't know if it's 'cause I'm
settling
drunk right
into
now.
What it looks like.
But fuck, boy. Oh shit.
I'm wondering if some of the stuff is based on like African art design.
Very well could be. But then the photorealistic stuff, like I wish it was all as stylized or all, you know what I mean? Like one
You think
type of look.
you feel like it's conflicting?
Yeah.
For the pride of the lion.
Ah.
Why would you say that?
Okay. Let's go. It's been
And in return, he asks only for you to smile. So,
I don't know how long,
smile.
It's interesting. Parts of it, style.
but it's been some days since I had some weed in my system. Well, hitting the bone. And I ain't talking about residue.
Silly.
The color guys. New ideas, very interesting ideas.
It is an instinct that must be removed for your own good.
Slap left and right here.
Master, the only imposter here is you, pretending to re-educate these women as you lead them into a life of slavery.
This is a good show. And people talk about it like it's equivalent to
Chair just for a little scope.
Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire or whatever. I haven't watched Tales of the Empire, but Tales of the Jedi,
It's a part of the chair.
I feel like it's better than Tales of the Jedi. I ain't gonna lie. Me personally, I feel like it's better than Tales of the Jedi. And I just recently watched something that, Tales of the Underworld. That's what I was watching. It's definitely better than that. I ain't gonna lie. It gave us a little plot hole, whatever, filler. But like, nah.
If you leave now, he may still allow you to serve.
I have never been good at following orders.
That's why they picked you, Normalaje. He's gonna have like a lion-esque version of the Black Panther suit, it looks like. Some other ritualistic, magic infused, some tech.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta turn it on. I don't have to turn it on, but I'm gonna turn it on. If y'all don't know what I'm doing, I'm just picking out the bigger buds and just putting them to the side. Shit. Ooh, almost fell.
There's no remnants in your skin anymore. Yeesh.
You must not get distracted, Mimi. Be a ghost, Mimi.
Whatever it's a different territory jumps in.
I won't stay here, won't I? Of course. His chamber would be at the door.
I think it is. I think it's more anthology stuff.
I'd imagine, right? Like different experiences in Wakanda in this world.
And I'm not being accurate with it because I'm not using my scale or anything.
It's murking everybody. Oh, But
But
for
I
sure,
just
you're
want the
making
biggest
I'm not sure
ones
how
to
you
be
would- Either way.
put to the
text.
side. Oh shit.
Could be gods because they don't have access or the knowledge of God.
It doesn't seem like they got access to any knowledge except for brainwashed into.
Boop.
Is a kingdom.
Boop.
Many secrets.
Boop.
Secrets they do not
Boop.
believe you are.
Oh boop. That's crazy. I came out to the perfect amount of buds to put in the grinder.
So distrust.
There is a risk when they send people like you and me out into the world.
And what is that?
We see it for what it is.
Free thinkers.
Why follow the path they set out for you? You could make your own here, as they all have. I freed these people from their suffering. Did you?
Did you?
If freedom is what you offer, why are there so many chains?
Yeah.
Bars.
A world their descendants will walk freely, united under one banner.
My banner.
He's like Mongol and Superman. It's interesting.
If you will not return with me willingly, I will bring you back in a coffin.
It's interesting. I wonder. I hope we didn't miss the dialogue. I wonder why they haven't sent the Black Panther themselves to deal with this.
Assuming it's not a big enough threat yet.
Yeah, because I have to imagine Black Panther already exists at this point, but year 1200 or 1200 something. But also there.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's other things and then up to a certain point of worry. Curtain fight.
Love a dance fight.
Like silks in a ballet. It's cool.
Yes. Oh. Okay, I thought you had an eye for a
Yeah, if I
second.
went through the mask.
None of us will need to go of war. If rules be forgotten, or at least I will live free.
Whoa.
Gee, whoa. Yes.
Lost to the depths.
If I'm remembering correctly, it also kind of reminds me of a mix of Killmonger's dad. He left because he was like selling weapons, and then Killmonger himself.
I offer you a return to your fallen rank as a Dora Milaje of Wakanda.
You know,
This isn't your greatest sweet tea. It's new Sprite Plus tea. It's better than tea. It has Sprite and tea flavors.
Who you out there talking to, baby? And what did you do to my picture?
Try new Sprite Plus tea. Obey your thirst. Oh, gotta go.
New Energy CRX for 100% renewed skin in less than 3 weeks.
In case y'all don't know what time it is, it's 8:20 p.m. August 9th, 2025. And I'm always saying the year just in case people down the line want to decide to watch my videos and they just need to know the date because I don't have the date in the corner of the video, you feel me? So, no. I don't care if y'all use that card. Fuck, I'm in debt on that card anyway, so I ain't tripping. Plus, it's probably locked anyway, but yeah, I ain't got no money on that fucking card. And I used all the borrow money and everything. Whew. Bruh.
Select Nike styles are 25% off at Academy.
I wish to serve Wakanda, but not as a Dora Milaje.
Feeling that Wakanda's still freedom.
I am ready for anything.
Good. Then welcome to the war zones.
Same title, but a different context. Is interesting. It's the same thing he called her, but from her to compliment at a position. Now I'm thinking maybe it is just going to be her story in 4 episodes because it ended in a way that felt like a setup.
Yeah.
I can see it either being an anthology and new characters, or it could be her taking on that mantle mantle.
Yeah, what would that mean? What's her journey from there? Curious. Eyes open.
I ain't never represent, baby.
3, 2, 1. Another painting.
Yeah, the backdrops.
Please! Deploy archers! This is. The machine has reached the city walls.
Excellent.
So interesting. Burn Wakanda into Greek history.
Yeah.
Signal the army. Not be long now before the Myrmidons open the gates. The Trojans are relentless. Perhaps. But we have something they do not. Achilles.
We're going like full on.
Yeah.
Is coming.
Trojan horse action. Achilles v Black Panther.
Hold on, y'all. I'll be back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Boy.
Smart mode. Charging starts.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I ain't finna talk about people. 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 Oh shit. But it's crazy how people be though. Oh shit. Damn. But not for real, it's crazy how people be though. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Hold on. Oh, I'm about to say, bitch, what? Alright, got it on Twitch. Got it on YouTube right there. Cause the only reason I got it like this, cause I want to get the keychain that's right there on the side of that Wolverine cup. Yep, it's right there on the side of that Wolverine cup. So yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Anyways, let me get the lighter right quick. Cause I put the light up and everything, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yeah, I ain't getting no weed no time soon. Oh well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Boom, bam, bop. Boom. Let's get it. We finna start this over though. Not the whole thing, but like from the second episode. There we go. Boom. And we finna hit the dope.
Now I'm thinking maybe it is just going to be her story in 4 episodes. Because it ended in a way that was, yeah. I can see it either being an anthology and new characters, or it could be her taking on that mantle.
Yeah, well, that beat was her journey from there. Here it is. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
573. I think that's Banks. I think that's Banks.
This is your machine has reached the city walls.
Excellent.
So interesting. Burned upon into history.
Yeah.
Signal the army. Be long now before the Myrmidons open the gates. The Trojans are relentless. Perhaps, but we have something they do not. Achilles.
We're going full on.
He's coming.
Trojan horse action. Achilles v. Black Panther. Come on, Brad Pitt.
Yeah. The Trojans need to stay.
Let me hit this fucking weed, bro, before I get irritated. Just a little hit. Just a little hit. Just to get my lungs back settled, you feel me? Because I haven't had no flour in some days. Like, even though I saved that, what that was, sorbet haze, that shit hit me like it was some fucking fent laced weed, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
And new characters, or it could be her taking on that mantle.
Yeah, That beam was urgent there. Curious. Eyes of Wakanda. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Another painting.
Yeah, the backdrops.
Please! The boy answers! Odysseus, your machine has reached the city walls.
Excellent.
Oh, interesting. Throwing Wakanda into Greek history.
Yeah.
Signal the army. Won't be long now before the Myrmidons open the gates. The Trojans are relentless. Perhaps. But we have something they do not. Achilles
We're going like full on.
Yeah.
is coming.
Trojan horse action. Achilles v Black Panther. Come on, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
The Trojans need to stay distracted. Achilles, come quickly. You're not going to like this. Hades.
Oh, Hades.
Oh hell.
They build, we adapt. You're right, Memnon. There is always a way.
Funny thing they're gonna write all these names. They're like registers.
And I just watched Troy, I'm gonna say about a year ago, so it's interesting to see within this context. Same type of last one.
Wonder if he had a little chair for his. So is it Wakandan tech and then them getting it back? Maybe that's the connection between the anthology. Wakanda's reclaiming their tech.
Interesting theory, I think you may be right with that.
It's only through one so far, not time or space. Or maybe this is the Eye of Wakanda.
So the intro so far is based off of that first episode. So maybe each one gives us a little tidbit to what we're about to
What we're seeing
experience.
before.
But yeah, it seems
Maybe
like
like this one.
Yup.
Trojan, some warrior work. Next one.
Okay. Oh.
China.
Yeah, some hand-to-hand
that,
action.
yeah, martial arts, and then we got maybe the future.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Those are my guesses. The fourth is future. Third is Far East. This one is Trojans.
Yeah.
Got like registers.
And I just watched Troy, I'm gonna say about a year ago, so it's interesting to see within this context. Same type of last one.
Wonder if he had a little chair for his. So is it Wakandan tech and then them getting it back? Maybe that's the connection between the anthology. Wakanda's reclaiming their tech.
Interesting theory, I think you may be right with that.
It's only through one so far, not time or space. Or maybe this is the Eye of Wakanda.
So the intro so far is based off of that first episode. So maybe each one gives us a little tidbit to what we're about to experience. Oh yeah, it seems
Maybe
like
like
it.
this one.
Yup.
Trojan, some warrior work. Next one.
Okay. Oh.
China.
Yeah, some hand-to-hand
that,
action.
yeah, martial arts, and then we got maybe the future.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Those are my guesses. The fourth is future. Third is Far East. This one is Trojans.
Yeah, I wonder if Marvel's committing to this being canon as well.
They don't commit to much with canon.
They don't commit too much with
They
canon.
just make it.
Hey, bro.
Same type of last one.
Wonder if he had a little chair for his. So is it Wakandan tech and then them getting it back? Maybe that's the connection between the anthology. Wakanda's reclaiming their tech.
Interesting theory, I think you may be right with that.
It's only through one so far, not time or space. Or maybe this is the Eye of Wakanda.
So the intro so far is based off of that first episode. So maybe each one gives us a little tidbit to what we're about to
What we're seeing
experience.
before.
Oh yeah, it seems
Maybe
like
like
it.
this one.
Yup.
Trojan, some warrior work. Next one.
Okay. Oh.
China.
Yeah, some hand-to-hand
that,
action.
yeah, martial arts, and then we got Maybe the future.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Those are my guesses. The fourth is future. Third is Far East. This one is Trojans.
Yeah, I wonder if Marvel's committing to
He
this
got it.
canon.
He got it.
They don't commit to much with canon, especially in animation, man. They just making it up.
Second hand.
What if? Nah.
What if not?
What if not? Eyes of Wakanda.
Legends and lies. I'm also very curious to know what this is for. Is this like supposed to be for families or adults? Because I know that I say that because they're very conservative with their usage of blood. thus
Yeah.
far.
It's a fair point. That scratches on necks and stuff, but they don't actually show a lot of death.
Right, we're using swords and spears and stuff.
But nobody's getting punctured.
Myrmidons be found. Damn it all, the Hades. Call for retreat. Odysseus wants us to fall back. Cowards!
Memnon with the save. Watch your heels.
He's lost.
That'll learn him. It's a long beat too for a 30-minute show to spend.
Right.
Maybe not him like tantruming. I'm sure that'll come back as some sort of like weakness of his. But Wakanda Tech healing up. Why aren't I better at fighting? Look at my beautiful hair.
Look at my beautiful hair. Childish.
Thank you. Someone has to be here to put the coins on your eyes for your betting. This barbarian, they have convinced you of his loyalties, but I have never been one to trust an outsider. We must not let the endurance of our enemy break the bonds of our brotherhood, especially with victory so close at hand.
Can't get a little racist when you start losing.
Knowing nod at only guy.
I think now is the perfect time for one last trip on Troy.
Oh, we are doing the Trojan horse.
How do you convince your enemy to invite you into his home? Just make him think he's won. And how will you do that? By presenting Troy with a gift.
You know, you've had a hard time getting over the animation. I'm having a hard time getting over the fact he has a beard with a mustache.
You know, it's a choice. It's a style choice.
He
Maybe.
childish. He childish. That nigga said, "It's crazy that you're having a hard part of with the animation, but I'm having a hard part with him having a beard but no mustache." Like what? What? Oh shit.
How do you convince your enemy to invite you
He
into his home?
childish.
Just make him think he's won. And how will you do that? By presenting Troy with a gift.
You know, you've had a hard time getting over the animation. I'm having a hard time getting over the fact he has a beard with a mustache.
You know, it's a choice. It's a style choice he's made. Oh. It's not a spy for those people, he's a Wakandan spy.
I'm really ahead of the curve. Morse code.
Well, pager. 1200's pager, whatever this is.
I
Was.
take back what I said about
It's
Odysseus. Man is a lunatic genius. Madman.
It was BC, right?
Should be Greek history, but
Sorry, history buffs.
And what would the legendary Achilles do without a war to fight?
We'll learn it. No, it's the Odyssey next year.
right.
It's so long, I hardly dare to think about it. Victory's so close, I cannot help myself.
Legends and lies.
I just realized Leonard haven't called me yet. Well, she called this morning, and I kind of got on her ass on some shit.
But I'm in a conflict that's just
sorry.
country man.
I wasn't trying to. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't trying to. I didn't know. Shit.
Considering this is a
But
legend,
nah.
I'm gonna say it goes with this country.
Guys, Wakanda show.
She haven't called yet. And I thought she was gonna call like after she was done getting her nails done.
Real conflicted. Where
Oh,
are
but I
the
forgot
nails?
that you gonna see her cousins though. So yeah, that's probably what happened. That's probably what happened.
Put a little refund on it. It's different.
I still don't understand these people's horse obsession.
He was just like, no.
One step too far. Ah, never.
Leonard,
Had his own mission.
You were right. Control you over kin.
Yeah, this is a classic story, not in a significant way. Significant for Wakanda.
But they're quite fictionally significant.
If it's our lives you're after, get it over with.
Helen, you have no idea what I've given up to recover this. 9 long years.
On a mission. Time.
Cover for a while. Don't go home.
You will not get another chance. Memnon, Memnon!
Oh, it's not what it looks like. No.
Oh, not a traitor at all. But wait.
Do not let anger force your hand.
Hi.
It's been since March. Hell no.
Just let me go home.
Home?
Whoa, what?
Okay.
I thought it was like way higher up. Yeah.
Achilles!
Focus in.
Achilles, no!
You dumb mofo.
Whatever this power is, it will belong to Chris.
Hell. Gotta take that out.
You are done taking from me. No.
Oh.
Yo! That's sick. Ooh. Damn. That was a killing blow right
Yeah,
there.
it's not playing anymore.
You didn't betray Grace.
Betrayed me.
You betrayed me.
I'm about to say, damn, I forgot about that, but I should have till September 5th. So yeah, I'm good.
Stay down.
We're actually to the 2nd, to the 5th. But yeah.
Please. Just give it to me.
But nah, I can knock it all out the way right now. So I might do that tomorrow.
Everything. No, not everything. For your betterment.
And what type of shit Fortnite got going on? Because I saw that shit when I was when I started the stream.
6 months later.
Makai, it is good to see you back on your feet.
Oh, cool.
You have been good for some, given so much, but you have no time to worry now. And here, it is
Yeah. That was a killing blow right
Yeah,
there.
it's not playing anymore.
You didn't betray Grace.
Betray.
I'm sorry, but y'all know that I haven't
Yeah.
didn't see it.
Achilles.
Focus in.
Achilles, no!
You dumb mofo.
Whatever this power is, it will belong to Chris.
Hell. Gotta take that out.
You are done taking from me. No.
Oh.
Yo! That was sick.
was a killing blow right
Yeah,
Shit, yeah.
it's not playing anymore.
You didn't betray Teresa.
Betrayed me.
You betrayed
Grab by the ankle, sweet. Grab by the ankle, sweet.
Stay down. Damn, that's messed up.
It is over. Please, just give it to me. Lose everything. Remember, not everything. For your ferryman.
Oh, we promised him earlier.
This was a good show, bro. I'm surprised it's not really getting talked about. Like,
It is good to see you back on your feet.
nobody really bringing it up like they'll bring up the movies, or they would bring up Loki or WandaVision or Moon Knight.
Yeah, like this little.
Send me back out into the field. It is where I belong.
If that is your wish.
Curious if it's gonna be like each episode builds to like a group, or if like he becomes an antagonist in the next episode. Like,
Oh. Because yeah, that one definitely seemed more like a lead into the next one than I thought the first one was, but that one felt even more direct.
yeah,
What does it mean?
This is cringe.
Comics.
This is cringe. Why the fuck they got this part? Whatever. Meh.
Proximity Media presents Eyes of Wakanda.
Oh fuck.
Watched 2 episodes thus far.
2 out of 4.
Out of 4. What lies next?
More eyes.
More eyes, more Wakanda.
4 eyes.
Mm.
Oh, that's 8 eyes.
You ready?
Alright, let's get it. Alright, we're going into episode 3 and 3.
He's in 1400.
Oh, my bad. Wait, no.
He's in 1400, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, it's 2025.
Oh, you're right. My bad. You're so like that's the future.
You said it like I said. It was like
No, that's not what it is.
600 years ago, not 2,000 years from now.
You're right.
Hey, Jalen, what's harder, picking plays or picking outfits?
Next question.
You gotta be twice as good. Can you throw twice as far?
Who is this?
Is Sprite responsible for your success?
Nah, but it tastes good. If you want to refresh the drink, Sprite. Obey your thirst.
You can get this fixed now and pay later. You can get this fixed now and pay later.
Damn.
This. Get it fixed now and
Long
pay
ass
later.
commercial.
4 interest-free payments at SafeLife.com.
Safe Life Replace.
Try gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Hit it, kid.
Snowball has new iPhone 16 electric clean up photos with a
Give us the phone back.
Get the new iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store.
No matter what kind of teeth you gotta brush, Oral-B Electric cleans better with one simple touch. Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush it, hugs them, cleans them, and gets in between them for 100% cleaner teeth. Your perfect clean starts with Oral-B.
Choosing country over person again.
Yeah, 7 on buy
vibe so far. It feels more playful, more adventurous than the previous two protagonists. More joyous.
I don't know if it's because, the setting will get Mushu vibes.
Oh, very cool.
He actually has an easy time. Just goes home. That was it.
Yeah, alright. Real short episode.
I am sorry to report. I encountered no actual dragons. It's a local superstition. There is no curse on me. Then take food, we get them.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah. Yeah, nah, that's too easy. What's going on?
He's gonna meet the dragon after these credits.
Yeah. Hopefully, keep it interesting. Get a little mystical up in here. Like, yeah, Wakanda's already so futuristic. Like, he had a plane in the year 1400.
Not 4,000.
No.
Maybe we'll go to 4,000 next. Who knows?
Yeah, these seems like this is a way bigger jump between the first and second story. How is that one connected at all? It's like great time. Lost and found. Legend and Lies, Lost and Found. They're back home, baby.
I thought there'd be a force field. I thought it'd be a dragon. Nah.
No, we gotta take
Back
that
in
yet.
Wakanda.
You were only supposed to take what was inside this statue. We have procedures to ensure our missions go unnoticed.
They will notice his head is gone. And the people you fought in the way.
You will be seeing a lot more of it if our Counselor Akim is not satisfied with your mission debrief. He does not at least send patience for your methods as your Myra's do.
Back then, Congo was so beautiful. Sure, beautiful text, beautiful landscapes.
The mission is what matters here, High Counselor. But at what cost, Agent?
This isn't right.
That's fine. Wakanda still stuck on board.
That's how he got out so easy. He thought he was watching them.
Ooh. That's fine. Maybe a thing.
Did something happen in the mission?
Yes, I succeeded.
Too cocky, too reckless.
This is not some contest you need to win. It is people's lives.
Think about that guy's design. It looks like more real. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
The detective inspecting your airship has not submitted your flight records for some reason.
Did they something actual, dude?
Yeah, them last two episodes of that show was really peak. I ain't gonna lie. The first two was, I ain't gonna call them filler,
First two episodes?
but they were
I don't really
not
think I
as
love
pivotal
dragon animation.
as the
A lot of
third and
people
fourth
say
episode.
It's just a style that doesn't. It was comfy for me. Is that an Iron Fist?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything is okay. You want Masha? Follow me.
Interesting. Big stuff.
Intruder! Attack!
That makes the dragon real. That makes a lot of things real. Because like that's how Iron Fist gets their power.
Yeah.
That was like a.
They said your name, Masha. I warned you something was off about our intel.
It's probably the chick you were sleeping with.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He let something into Wakanda. He and Captain Eden will both have to answer for this.
Did you say? He's a Bugatti lad.
Baby! Listen! Oh. Return back to health, and then you left me. Dang, good dog, bro.
She did everything for you. Stole from her people directly.
Directly.
But this is Kunlun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So just Iron Fist showed up. I wasn't 100% sure.
1400, yeah, that could have been.
Dang, and then he left me. It wasn't even about the stolen stuff, just because you left me.
this time, I thought you actually cared about me.
Wow.
Well,
Bitch.
Unless I get what you stole from us.
it was stolen from us.
We've never stolen anything. I pulled you out of the snow. I took you in.
I was on a mission.
And now, so am I.
Oakdale Railroad.
Reinforcements are no doubt already converging on the orange sector, so if you wish to get your hands on the statue, you are sorely mistaken.
Robert, you forgot to talk about the statue.
Thanks.
Told her right where to go. Tron fight.
Are you?
I'm the host.
No. I'm Seju's Jew.
I did like this concept of a Wakandan and an Iron Fist getting together. I don't think
Yeah, it's a fun way to play with that lore. It's not traditional.
yeah.
Like you said, the mission comes first.
There are like ancient Avengers comics where there are ancient Iron Fists and ancient Black Panthers that have converged, but I've never seen that like romance elements and like the one-on-one. But there are like OG versions of the two. There it is. Fist.
For the last time, please.
I like you, Marshall. I've tried really hard not to hurt you, but I am out of patience. Step aside.
Still,
Yeah.
I did like this concept of a Wakandan and an Iron Fist.
There are like ancient Avengers comics where there are ancient Iron Fists and ancient Black Panthers that have converged, but I've never seen that like romance elements and like the one-on-one. But there are like OG versions of the two. There it is. Fist.
For the last time, please.
I like you, Marshall. I've tried really hard not to hurt you, but I am out of patience. Step aside.
kind of tried to kill him.
Kind of trying to kill him.
Still,
Yeah.
This is still my whole life.
Mine too.
Oh, it's the lion mask.
Yeah.
I know you're right. The next
Room for the different
the artifacts from what we would have. Yeah. This also feels like that concept of Steve going back and retrieving all the Infinity Stones.
Not really.
You know, the Great Fire didn't hold his own for a second against a fist.
Sticky vibrating?
That's cool.
How are you doing this?
I am John, guardian of the mountains. I defeated the immortal dragon Shola.
Shola.
I am the Iron Fist.
Cool.
Very cool. God, I can't wait to get a proper live action Iron Fist, man.
And really, if they're gonna bring in like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and stuff as they might, then I'd love to see Jessica Henwick. Jessica Henwick's such a badass.
That would be cool.
Comes right at the very end.
You like it or not, everything I have done today, I have done to keep that statue out of her hands.
It still feels strange they're not mentioning the Black Panther.
At all.
At all.
Every time I see that, I'm like, ooh, ooh.
If you had just told me first.
And you would have just told me from the start.
That is all you needed to know.
Oh my god.
Why are you like this? Just trust me and follow my lead. It was a training exercise.
And this is mine. I think you've taken enough
most fun episode. I think it's my favorite.
Chit-chat. No, for real though. That's why I said like the episode 3 and episode 4 was real life peak.
The world together was cool, and continuing the retrieve your artifact. And like it's an interesting play on like obviously the African artifacts have been stolen for thousands of years and dispersed around the country. The idea of gathering them back, but in a way that isn't like how Killmonger did. Like that, it's interesting to play on those tropes.
Yeah, no, I think this one, I agree, was the most fun, the most fast-paced as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted a relationship between the two of them a little bit. Yeah.
It is 9:18. I've been on here for an hour 45 minutes.
Artifact being
I think longer on the 5, right?
Then, yeah, each one of the episodes, or at least the second and third, were primarily.
Not really. I've been on Twitch for like
the first one as well.
3 more minutes.
And
Still.
use of Kunlun and like the ancient culture and how it was their statue after 1,000 years it became so important to them. I like that. One more to go.
One more to go. Getting it in. All right, you guys, this is the final episode of Honda. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to start this final episode.
I must admit, it really is quite remarkable what they have managed to build here.
Near past.
Just going to take it all down. The more time you spend in the outside world to extra value.
Block Bob.
Know what they say, Buddha? The greatest heroes in history always define the greatest danger. If our intelligence is correct, we should be located in the storage house, right through the west part of the violence. The path on the central network
Stupid ass.
historical context, because we must navigate the state of play. My friends, you see the real ones are from a place called Italy. Prince Tafari. First of all, silencing the son of the king considered treason. We need to move out now, while we still can. Our history does not chronicle the stories of those who just sit back and watch to cool down. Our time is we are not here to make history. Hold your position, I am coming for you. Do not go for the artifact. Repeat, do not go for it. Got it! I got it!
Oh, the piece that she missed in the first one, and also the piece that Killmonger gets in the movie.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one they unsheathed, so making that the 5th episode of the show.
I am alone, the first warlord to ever recover one of Wakanda's missing artifacts. Perhaps you should be more focused on the present, my prince, if you actually want to make it back to Wakanda.
Reads.
It's refreshing when things feel just right, like your auto insurance.
I'm John. I wanted to quit smoking for years. I tried several different times. Nothing seemed to work for me. But I didn't give up. Eventually I found the right doctor. And together we came up with a plan. It finally worked. I used 2 quit smoking medicines and getting counseling. My tip is, keep trying. You only have to quit for good once.
You can quit. For free help, text quit now to 333-888.
Hey, it's your skin. CeraVe, developed a dermatologist, cleanses and removes excess oil with niacinamide and 3 essential ceramides. CeraVe prevents disruption of my barrier.
CeraVe Foaming Cleanser.
And now introducing new CeraVe Anti-Dandruff Hair Care.
Watcher. Maybe watching, please.
The last man.
should be located in the storage house, right through the west part of the violence. Your parents on the statue was once said, "Yes, if I offer you see, the real ones are from a place called Italy. Prince Safari.
Police have identified the suspects and located the 2018 Dodge Charger used in last night's crime. The suspects are believed to be full
Now, while we still can.
Ah! I thought it was a real news thing.
We are not here to make history. Hold your position, I am coming for you. Do not go for that. Do not go for it. I got it!
Oh, the piece that she missed in the first one, and also the piece that Killmonger gets in the movie.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the one they unsheathed, so making that the fifth episode of the show.
Director Don, the first warlock to ever recover one of Wakanda's missing artifacts. Perhaps you should be more focused on the present, my prince, if you actually want to make it back to Wakanda.
Prince.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe
Watcher.
The last man.
A field agent follows protocols. Enough with the lectures, Kuda. I want to ride with the legendary Kuda. Silence, the son of the king. Consider treason. We need to move out now, while we still can. Our history does not chronicle the stories of those who just sit back and watch Kuda. Our time. We are not here to make history. Hold your position, I am coming for you. Do not go for the artifact. Repeat, do not go for it.
I got this.
Oh, the piece that she missed in the first one, and also the piece that Killmonger gets in the movie.
Oh,
With the
yeah.
one they unsheathed, so making that the fifth episode of the show.
Director Don.
Hold on, whoa, we're making it a what?
Killmonger gets in the movie.
Oh,
With the one
yeah.
they unsheathed, so making that the fifth episode of the show.
Oh, type shit. Okay. I get.
Oh, yeah.
With the one they unsheathed, so making that the fifth episode of the show.
Director Don, the first warlock to ever recover one of Wakanda's missing artifacts. Perhaps you should be more focused on the present, my prince, if you actually want to make it back to Wakanda.
Prince.
Oh, Watcher. Watcher.
The last man.
A field agent follows protocols. Enough with the lectures, Kuda. I want to ride with the legendary Kuda of the mining tribe, the agent who slayed the pirate Ben Keys. However, this is what happened to him.
Oh god.
Where of a war dog is meant to be invisible, my prince. The mission is what matters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I thought was future tech from the intro, but it's still futuristic in the 1900s.
Yeah. Wakanda's been futuristic.
That's what I mean. Like that looked like a future image, but it's only because comparatively.
My eldest brother is destined for the throne, and I am not destined for anything but
My purpose.
if I join the war dogs, I'll find a way to write myself into Wakanda's story.
Felt like that mattered.
It's hard to believe I will do that chasing things like this. And X is not exactly the pinnacle of technology, even by the outsider's head. This is not even its original handle. The blade is the outsiders are already killing themselves with their own weapons. Imagine what they could do with ours.
Hey.
We must know how to
Awesome.
Oh. Is that our first Black Panther?
Might be. Whoa. Whoa. It's more like a predator than a black
Yeah,
panther.
very offensive That's
that?
cool.
Safari! Safari! Take the axe! Run south!
Break that mask. Break that mask.
That's what it's there for, man. You know this.
Oh man, you gotta step up. This is how you matter.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Remind me of the
Captain
Civil
America,
War.
Iron Man, yep.
Yep.
You are Wakandan.
Now they're trying to take Thanos' glove off.
I know every field of President DeSantis, and I have never seen this woman before.
The fate of our home hangs in the balance.
You are not from our home.
I will be.
Oh, from the future.
I was kind of right.
Now, just open your eyes.
It's funny.
Oh, that's right. She's the last Panther. It's the end of Wakanda. She's trying to save her homeland by going to the past.
500 years from now.
This land must be Wakanda.
In my time, it is just a great past.
Well,
Come to this home. Behold, we came from the edge of the galaxy and blotted out the sun of their numbers.
Or if nobody got my fucking back, it's gonna be my sister on my fucking mama's side. No disrespect, no disrespect, no disrespect, no disrespect, but but I'm not trying to point fingers and make assumptions. So let me shut my fucking mouth. I'm missing some shit. Even though I saw this episode already. I still like to see it again because this was a good ass fucking episode.
I was kind of right. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Mm.
That sound. What is
That's
that?
cool.
Safari!
Oh. Is that like Black Panther?
Whoa. Whoa. It's more like a predator than a Black
Yeah,
Panther.
very offensive.
What is that? Whatever you are, we have no quarrel with you.
Looks like the Prowler and Predator had a baby.
Totally.
Stop, or you will be stopped.
The hell are you? Oh, that sound. What is
That's
that?
cool.
Safari! Safari! Take the axe! Run south!
Break that mask. Break that mask.
That's what it's there for, man. You know this.
Oh man, you gotta step up. This is how you matter.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Remind me of the
Captain
Civil
America,
War.
Iron Man, yep.
Hey, bruh, let me say this. Like, since entering this community as a Marvel fan or whatever, I like to experience shit just to turn out to be thinking the same way as another person is thinking about the same shit that I'm talking about. You feel me? Like, cause I instantly thought about that shit. Like the way it was framing that shot for a little minute, they was jumping to do Black Panther for a second, but then they switched it up. It was like, it's too similar. You feel me? But nah, I really thought it was like, yep, this is Cap, this is Bucky, and the new Panthers and the last Panthers Iron Man. Like, yeah, just going in. Like, it's just the way it was framed. Like, I don't know if it was like a certain type of zoom or just the framing of it. Like, I don't know, but it gave Civil War. It gave Civil War. You feel me? So like the fact that other people be thinking that way, I like that shit. Real talk. Like, I don't think I really had that type of connection with people before I got into Marvel. Not for real. Like, yeah. Real shit. Cause cause I can't even say I was different for liking the Migos. But everybody used to clown me for liking the Migos, but everybody started bumping the Migos. Niggas were clowning me for bumping Uzi, but now niggas bumping Uzi. You feel me? Like, it's different. It's different from music in actual pop culture. You feel me? Because not a lot of people gonna like your music and not even gonna give it a chance. But if you're a human and you haven't seen one Marvel movie in your life, what are you doing? Mate, fuck that. If you haven't seen 5 Marvel movies in your life, what are you doing? It could be fucking Sony fucking Marvel movies. It don't have to be MCU. If you haven't seen 5 Marvel movies in your life and you don't understand references from other people's and shit, what are you doing? Seriously. Like, it's just like, it's something that I feel like people should already be onto. You feel me? Like, I've been saying, it seems like everybody's smoking now, you know? But, like, this is different. Because you can actually relate to people's thoughts and feelings about this work or project instead of it being music. It's like visual. Because niggas don't talk about music videos. Niggas don't talk about music videos. Nobody talk about music videos these days. It's always the song. Niggas will watch it, but is niggas really talking about it? You feel me? And niggas really putting effort in their music videos. Not saying that it's worthless, but nobody talk about it. So it's like, for this to be recognized as something that can be watched upon from multiple people all around the world, they probably got aliens up there watching the MCU shit. Like, damn, man, I can't wait for the brand new day to come out. Like, boy, you know, Doomsday gonna be the shit. Like, beep boop bop bop, stupid ass. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, even they up there talking about this shit. Like, that's, bro. And like, I watched Marvel movies back then. Real shit. I watched Marvel movies back then. At that time, before I really got introduced to the MCU, my favorite movie was X2 or Spider-Man 3. Seriously. It was either X2 or Spider-Man 3. And everybody talking shit about Spider-Man 3. Man, that's the best Spider-Man movie, man. Besides 1, best Spider-Man movie, man. Fuck what you mean. Fuck what you mean, man. Real talk, bro. I will argue a nigga down. Just how that nigga's Zephyr was talking about that shit. I'm with that nigga. 100%. Cause niggas talk so much shit about something that they don't really understand that it's accurate. You feel me? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But like, yeah. I'm glad that I really got something to really relate to, instead of it being like music. Cause nobody really bumped the music that I fuck with. You feel me? And nobody's really talking about Marvel the way that I do, but when I be bringing it up, or if they see I be posting it, they want to talk about it. And that's all I want. I want somebody to talk about shit with. You feel me? You feel me? Like, bro, that's why I feel like, man. That's why I feel like, bro. I cried enough today. I am not finna cry right now. Man, real talk. But nah, I'm glad that I have somebody to relate to this shit with, you know. That's why I watch reactors now. They are basically virtual friends. You know, they not really co-responsive, so to speak, because they're pre-recorded. But it's like, you know, I'm crazy. Shut up. I'm crazy. I know.
Oh man, you gotta step up. This is how you matter.
It was the zoom in.
Nice.
It was the zoom in, bro.
Reminded me of the
Captain
Civil
America,
War.
Iron Man, yep.
Yep.
You are Wakanda.
And they're trying to take Thanos' level.
I know everything of President DeSantis, and I have never seen this woman before.
The fate of our home hangs in the balance.
You are not from our home.
Oh, for the future.
I was kind of right.
Ooh.
Just open your eyes.
It's a fight.
Oh, that's why she's the last Panther. It's the end of Wakanda. She's trying to save her homeland by going to the past.
500 years from now.
This would be Wakanda.
In my time, it is just a great that.
Well,
How did this happen?
Behold, they came from the edge of the galaxy and blotted out the sun with their numbers.
What the hell is that? Giant space caterpillar? What the hell?
That's what I thought, because I was like looking at them circles in the blast, that automatically reads cosmic.
Wakanda's laws dictate that we cannot help outsiders, and when the Horde sets their sights on us, even we were not powerful enough to resist. We were all that remained of our home, a handful of Dora Milaje, our general, and me, the Queen of Wakanda, the last Black Panther. We were stranded, but we were also surrounded by the remains of Wakandan technology, including my quantum scanner. It was used to study history. Now,
Artifacts, access, different points.
even more like that Steve Rogers idea of quantum
Type shit.
traveling through the stones.
And that's crazy. I didn't think about it like that. I see, it's the connection. But nah, I didn't think about it like that. Why they would do this, but they won't just do an animated series or just a special presentation of Steve Rogers returning the Stones? That would be so fucking cool. It don't have to be live action. Niggas will want it to be live action, but it don't have to be live action. Like, that would be so fucking cool. I'm surprised they really didn't do that shit yet, man. It's been 4 years. No, 5 years. Wait, 6 years. God damn, bitch.
Even more like that Steve Rogers idea of quantum traveling for the stones.
Yeah.
is a link in the chain of events.
Aligned ass.
We set out to find the link that led to our doomed future and break it.
Like that.
Eventually, we found it.
It's a cool way to retroactively make that axe have a lot of importance.
Yeah.
A perfect hinge point that, if restored, could set everything right.
Right, like it's a cool way to make that even bigger deal.
And when a forgotten son of Wakanda,
Oh!
that X, it is his first step in a campaign.
Yeah, that was a cool connection, bro. They did that shit.
It sets off a chain reaction that opens the right of King's eyes to the outside world.
Without the axe, what's that?
We have little time left. Atwa is already falling, and when it does, the X must be exactly where it was found. My time jump here nearly killed me. The heart-shaped have allowed me to survive, but I will not be able to endure another one.
I still got more of that.
Y'all still got more of that? Hey. Oh, when she said that bitch too, she didn't say artificial. Plot hole. Plot hole.
But I will not be able to endure another one.
I still got more of that.
Perhaps if there was some other way to prove it to us. You say you are from the future. Ah, yes.
They planted some somewhere else.
No, not now.
No, no. Do not tell the council what we have seen.
Have a backbone guy.
The suicide missions are valid. They always said their mission was protecting the people of Wakanda today to ensure the future of the people tomorrow. You are right, my kids. This is our mission now. Oh, thank Christ.
Also like the juxtaposition from the first episode. The loyal one going against the directors of the crown versus the rebellious one submitting to the crown.
Pull whatever power you can. I don't care if it's the last ounce we have. How did they find us?
They must have clutched the power draw.
So if I'm timing it out correctly, that's a little over year 2300.
Yeah, so not too far in the future.
I'm surprised it took till 2300 for them to get time travel. For as advanced as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucked up. They was snatch them bitches up.
Very.
Hurry! We're closing in. Only 100 meters to go. Take it up! No!
Wow.
We cannot let the court invade their time too.
Highness, our mission.
It is in our ancestors' hands.
Hey, just behind that tower. Let's go then. Not bad for a royal prince, eh?
Now OG's making it. I think Unk's about to bite it. Oh!
Yeah.
No! Don't worry, do that. I will get you out. Just hold on.
It's not happening, bro.
It's not happening, bro.
No! Kuda! There is no time.
He told us.
None of our leads had died in that map.
This is what it means to be a warlock. This is the price we pay to complete the mission.
Loves taking upon the text, but we can't find that text.
Oh.
My queen!
Oh.
Didn't expect it. They got me.
Yep. Also, I like it for the sake of tension, the cutting back and forth. The logic part of my brain's, I'm like, oh, that's how time travel works. But
Rules.
yeah, right. But it's done. You fixed it, probably.
Probably.
Or not. Oh God! Ooh, hated that for you. Forever. Yeah, 'cause imagine had he done it, they would have ceased to. That feature would have ceased to exist. But I'm happy, you know.
Oh, look at
Hey,
this.
he lives.
Back and got him out.
I tell you, I'll take you home.
Did.
Not bad, my prince.
Yay.
Not bad at all.
What?
If any of this was worth it.
Oh. Guess he won't.
Trust the future.
Yeah. Good revision.
Abandoning the mission was my call. Although Kuda is the senior agent, I am the
They had to clap it up.
Substantially more than the first two.
Agreed. Yeah, my immediate ranking would go, if we're going least to favorite, go, yeah, 1 least, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Yeah, I was thinking 4, 3, 2, 1 are my best to least. Sorry, 3.
Good guys.
We did it! The whole season.
Whole season of TV. That is it, guys.
I'm gonna watch
Been
this.
Watching 4 episodes of The Eyes.
Just because I was watching this earlier
Listen to this on
and
Apple,
it's been
Spotify.
released
Make
14
sure you
hours
go.
ago.
Alien Earth is certified fresh, riveting, captivating, and remarkable. Don't miss FX's Alien Earth. Premieres August 12th on FX and Hulu.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with
Before we get started,
See anybody want to get out?
I want to get out.
Gangster. Give you niggas a chance.
Hey, welcome back, Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy, and this is all of the Easter eggs, references, and little things you might have missed in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Guys, we went deep for this breakdown, reading books, watching interviews, going over the movie a million times frame by frame, and we are insanely proud of this video. Before we break down the movie, though, I do want to talk about the origins of this film and the films that inspired the filmmakers. So the theme of Winter Soldier is freedom versus fear, as embodied by the leads in this movie, Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes. For decades, the government used Steve as a symbol of freedom, while it was secretly using the Winter Soldier as an instrument of fear. But the title, The Winter Soldier, is actually misleading. It seems like it's about Bucky. After all, he was created in a Siberian prison and put back on ice over the decades. But go back to the original quote by Thomas Paine, who was writing about the hardships of the soldiers who fought in the Revolutionary War. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shriek from the service of their country. But he, the Winter Soldier that stands by it now, deserves the love and the thanks of man and woman. So, thematically, Steve Rogers is actually the Winter Soldier because he always fights in the darkest of times. He stands by his friends even when they turn out to be brainwashed assassins. Now, the story is based on the Winter Soldier Captain America arc by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epstein.
Put it on the list.
Now, I should note that for years, there was this unofficial rule that only 2 characters were able to stay dead: Uncle Ben and Bucky. See, Bucky was Steve's teen sidekick in the 1940s, but when Jack Kirby and Stan Lee brought Steve back in the 1960s, it was revealed that Bucky died on his final mission. So for decades, it was always thought that Steve Rogers was a better character if he always felt this remorse and guilt over Bucky's death. So in the book, The Reign of Marvel Studios, co-director Joe Russo said what Ed Brubaker did was so brilliant. He completely deconstructed the mythology and made him very relevant. And by putting him in an espionage genre, he married it to a genre that could support the character and make the character more interesting. Today, Joe and Anthony Russo are considered superhero royalty after directing Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. But when they were hired, they seemed like an oddball choice. The two were famously known for directing sitcoms. For instance, 14 episodes of Arrested Development and a staggering 34 episodes of Community, including the epic paintball two-parter, A Fist of Paintballs, and For a Few Paintballs More.
I'm out.
Now, Kevin Feige was a big fan of those 2 episodes, and he hired the Russos based on how well they executed the action scenes. And it turned out that TV directors are a perfect fit for the Marvel Studios system. The Russos already knew how to work within a larger system, where Kevin Feige served as a kind of showrunner of Marvel Studios. Now, Feige and producer Nate Moore told the writers, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, that they wanted the movie to feel like a 1970s conspiracy thriller. What's that? So, in the 1970s, this was a very popular genre. After Watergate and the Vietnam War, people felt like they couldn't trust their government. So, many films reflected this distrust by having one lone hero expose a corrupt conspiracy within the system. So, Marcus and McFeely took direct inspiration from films like Marathon Man, where Dustin Hoffman gets wrapped up in a mystery with a Nazi war criminal. In fact, when the Russos met with their editor, Jeff Ford, Ford asked them to name a couple of movies that inspired them so he could get a sense of the stylistics of the film. And the Russos said that, one of the movies they were thinking about is the Francis Ford Coppola classic, The Conversation. So Jeff Ford immediately replied, "You don't have to name any others. I'm in. We're good. Let's get some drinks." What's The Conversation? So it's about a man named Harry Call who is paid to spy on people. And as the film goes on, he gradually becomes more paranoid that he is actually the one being watched. Now you can see the influence of the conversation, for instance, in the Winter Soldier elevator scene. Except in the Winter Soldier, tension ratchets up as people enter the elevator, and in the conversation it becomes more tense as Call is left alone with the woman he is spying on. Now throughout this video we are going to talk about the litany of films that influenced the Winter Soldier, but the key influence on the film was Sidney Pollack's 3 Days of the Condor. Marcus and McFeely mapped the entire plot of Winter Soldier so closely to that film that they actually nicknamed their early draft 3 Days of Captain America. So I'm going to go through all of these similarities now, or else I'll just keep referencing them throughout the video. The movies are about a good-hearted man working for an intelligence agency whose friends are gunned down by a clandestine group operating within the government.
Maybe there's another CIA. Inside the CIA.
The new Hydra Group, a beautiful parasite inside shield.
The hero goes on the run and gets the help of a stranger. In fact, the Faye Dunaway character's role was split between the Black Widow and Sam Wilson in The Winter Soldier. Now this accomplice helps the hero kidnap a government operative. The hero is also being pursued by a ruthless assassin. There's a tense elevator scene, there's some gritty hand-to-hand combat, and a scene where they play a stereo loud to drown out any potential microphones listening into their conversation. Cliff Robertson, who plays Uncle Ben, by the way, also plays a boss who reports to a council and...
Oh, that is him. Crazy. That nigga looks so different. Hey, that's... He don't even look young, but he look old young type shit. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Cliff Robertson, who plays Uncle Ben, by the way, also plays a boss who reports to a council, and there are even matching shots of him and Alexander Pierce looking out of skyscraper windows. Now the scene where the Winter Soldier is waiting on Pierce is also...
Shit, why this bitch taking so long to
the final villain in 3 days.
get off the boat?
Both movies end with the heroes going public with government secrets.
Hydra was selling you lies, not intelligence.
What did you do? I told him a story.
But, according to the rated Marvel Studios, Marcus and McFeely struggled with this ending because, unlike a paranoid conspiracy thriller, a superhero movie needs to end on an upbeat note. And then, in the summer of 2011, they had the idea and they came to Kevin Feige and said, I think we're ready to take down S.H.I.E.L.D. So, let's dive into this movie. Now, originally, the screenplay's opening scene was going to be set in World War II, with Cap and the Howling Commandos being pinned down in a trench, and Steve leading the charge against a big Hydra gun. This would have reminded the audience of Steve's relationship with Bucky, and would have ended with Steve waking up from a dream, just like these Bucky flashbacks in the original Winter Soldier comics. This also plays into Cap's Rick Van Winkle aesthetic that I'm going to talk about later in the video. So this sequence was storyboarded and ultimately cut because that Smithsonian sequence serves the same purpose. Kevin Feige said, we realized the best thing for the movie would be just to throw the audience into the modern world with Cap. Now, as we watch this movie together, keep in mind...
I'm trying to think how that bitch actually started. Oh yeah, that bitch started with him running around in Washington with Sam Wilson. I mean, that's a way to, you know, yeah, like throw him into the modern day. But that sequence didn't need to really be long. They could have had it in a certain way. I see why. I see why. Because it's gonna be weird just to go from that scene to the running scene, unless they were just gonna start it off from the boat heist. You feel me? And that would have been weird because that was a good little scene between Black Widow, Falcon, Captain America. Yeah.
So it plays into Cap's Rick Van Winkle aesthetic that I'm going to talk about later in the video. So this sequence was storyboarded and ultimately cut because that Smithsonian sequence served the same purpose. Kevin Feige said, we realized the best thing for the movie would be just to throw the audience into the modern world with Cap. Now, as we watch this movie together, keep in mind the duality of it its core. Freedom versus fear. Shield versus Hydra. Captain America versus the Winter Soldier. This duality is going to appear again and again in the film. It's even present in the opening shot at dawn, where we see the world is half dark and half light. Now this is the Potomac River, which is also the setting for the climax of the film. And we also see the duality of government literally reflected in the water. The Washington Monument's reflection mirrors the surface, just like Hydra mirrors S.H.I.E.L.D. So these opening shots look simple, but they were actually really difficult to pull off. The National Park Service didn't want to allow the production to film around the pool. So locations manager James Lynn actually shot a mock-up sequence where he ran around the pool with a tripod to show the service how non-invasive they would be. And as you can see here, these shots were obtained by a Steadicam that was mounted on a glorified tricycle. So to make it seem like Steve is superhuman, Anthony Mackie had to jog along at a trot while Evans always sprinted. And this opening also established a key aspect of the film's visual language. Notice the little Steadicam shake. Almost every single shot in this movie is handheld. And here it gives the appearance of someone hidden, someone spying on them, just like the opening of Coppola's film.
Type shit. See, I didn't get that. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Better known as Fly on the Wall cinema, where documentary subjects are presented with very little editing. In this film, it makes us always feel like these events are grounded and happening in the real world, while also making us feel a little uneasy.
This movie's all handheld. It's a really interesting approach to a superhero movie. I don't think I've seen a superhero movie shot that way.
And this opening is one of two places in the movie where we hear Alan Silvestri's original theme from Captain America: First Avenger.
I need a new set of lungs. Dude.
Now this is because, at this point, Steve Rogers actually feels like his old self. His story is a retelling of Rip Van Winkle, the Irving Washington story about a man who slept through the American Revolution and then had to adapt to living in a different country. Steve's challenge in this movie is that he doesn't know his country any longer. And by extension, that means that Captain America doesn't know who he is or how he fits into this new world. And then we meet Sam Wilson, the future Falcon. Now, co-producer Nate Moore is largely the reason Falcon is in this movie. He was his favorite character when he was a kid. When he pitched the hero to Marcus and McFeely, they replied, "Why would we do the Falcon? He looks ridiculous." And frankly, they had a point. His 1970s outfit with the shirt open to the belly button has not aged well. And then Marcus and McFeely asked, "Do people like the Falcon?" And Moore's reply gave us Sam Wilson in the MCU. He said, "People love the Falcon."
People love the Falcon.
Grew up in Harlem, and he was a social worker who just had an affinity for birds. But a run-in with the Red Skull, the Cosmic Cube, gave him the ability to communicate with his Falcon named Redwing. And after 4.5 years in the comics, he finally got vibranium wings from Wakanda that allowed him to fly. Now, he was so popular back in the 70s that the book was renamed Captain America and the Falcon for 7 years. And technically, he is Marvel's first African-American superhero because the Black Panther is African. He was also one of the rare heroes back then who didn't have black in his name.
Stupid ass. But,
Wings from Wakanda
really?
allowed him to fly. Now, he was so popular back in the 70s that the book was renamed Captain America and the Falcon for 7 years. And technically, he is Marvel's first African-American superhero because the Black Panther is African.
Okay, yeah, word.
Heroes back then who didn't have black in his name.
Just Falcon, kid.
Now, when Anthony Mackie heard that he got the role, he broke down in tears because he knew that some little brown boy was going to come to his door at Halloween dressed as the Falcon. And he brought that joy onto set with him, as you can see in the BTS.
Cut the check.
And of course, Steve introduces himself by saying, which not only comes back later in the movie, and also in Avengers Endgame, on your left. But notice that when Sam does meet with old Steve, he approaches on his left, which is a great observation by the channel New Rockstars. So when they finally meet, Sam forms an immediate connection with Steve because he sees him as a soldier and not a celebrity.
It's your bed, right? Your bed's too soft. When I was over there, I sleep on the ground. Use rocks and pillows like a caveman.
And that idea is called back when we see Bucky still sleeping on the floor in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And Steve sees that Sam served because of his Air National Guard sweatshirt. Now, Sam makes it clear that he knows Steve is famous, but he mostly cares about him as a person and a veteran.
Anytime you want to stop by the VA, make me look awesome in front of the girl at the front desk, just let me know.
Now, after being thawed out, Steve is probably used to people always wanting something from him, but Sam is just somebody who wants to give and not take. And then we get to the famous notebook where Steve is writing down everything that he missed. And also, Bucky uses this notebook for his apology tour in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Only Brawny has 3 plies, and it's stronger than
This is such a good franchise. I hate when people talk shit about Marvel after Endgame, post Endgame. Like,
These are the facts. Switch to total
That's
Marvel
crazy.
fantasy.
The fact that's a term.
Guaranteed.
Marvel post Endgame is a term. Of course it's post Endgame because it's a whole different saga. It's not supposed to be the same. You can't say it's downgraded because it's completely different from previous projects. That's why I don't understand the hate most of the time. These niggas just be finding shit to talk about and niggas just be going with it. Like it's supposed to be cool. Like that's crazy. They been dropping it. They ain't been dropping the greatest shit, but they been dropping shit. Stop playing.
Now, the filmmakers famously swapped out different names for different countries.
We thought it was important to see Captain America because it's a good way to deal with the idea that Steve Rogers is a man of time.
And these alternates were actually chosen by internet polling.
It essentially amounted to an internet campaign where we asked people to weigh in on different things they thought Steve would have in his own life.
And this was the last wholesome thing to ever come out of the internet. In the UK, it lists the 1966 World Cup, the Beatles, Sherlock, and Sean Connery. In France, The Fifth Element by French director Luc Besson, Daft Punk, and the 1998 World Cup. Korea offers up Dance Dance Revolution. Italy has Roberto Benigni and his masterpiece Life is Beautiful. Australia and New Zealand voted in Steve Irwin and the amazing cookie Tim Tams. Brazil has Zsa Zsa. Russia voted for Disco and the communist Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. Spain has tennis legend Rafael Nadal and the candy Chupa Chups. And Latin America has Shakira. And heck yes, I love Shakira. Darn right you do. Germany listed Oktoberfest and Currywurst. And in the USA, Steve missed out on I Love Lucy, The Fall of the Berlin Wall, Steve Jobs, and Disco. Oh yeah, Disco, like on Russia's list. Right, so the one person that could have ended the Cold War early was Disco Stu.
Stu, just like that.
But this short exchange between Sam and Steve is actually crucial for the rest of the movie. The last time we saw Steve Rogers, he was still very much a man out of time.
It's not that thing though, guys, like a Stephen Hawking.
What you think, Elijah? What? Nobody was personified monkeys. Monkeys. You notice that?
I do. I understood that reference.
And the MCU is largely based on the Ultimate Comics, which is a more grounded relaunch of the Marvel characters. Ultimate Captain America is very old-fashioned. When his enemy tells him to surrender, he screams, "Do you think this A stands for France?" And when he dates Janet Van Dyne,
What?
she gets bored because he just wants to hang out with people who are in their 80s and
Wait.
dance to 1940s music.
Ain't no way this nigga said that shit, bro. You think this A stands for French? What? What? What are you talking about, Steve?
Nobody was personified monkeys. Monkeys. You
I
understand?
do. I understood that reference.
And the MCU is largely based on the Ultimate Comics, which is a more grounded relaunch of the Marvel characters. Ultimate Captain America is very old-fashioned. When his enemy tells him to surrender, he screams, "Do you think this A..."
You think this letter on my head stands for France? That's a comic panel. I know you're lying. This is a comic panel. And he looks pissed saying that shit. Like he bleeding from his nose and everything. That bitch,
He stands for France.
that bitch really said that shit. Oh my
Which is a
god.
more grounded relaunch of the Marvel characters. Ultimate Captain America is very old-fashioned. When his enemy tells him to surrender, he screams, "Do you think this A..."
You think this you think this letter on my head stands for France? Oh my god. Oh my god. I will never forget that. Oh my god. You think this letter on my head stands for France, bitch? Bitch.
He stands for France. And when he dates Janet Van Dyne, she gets bored with him because he just wants to hang out with people who are in their 80s and go to dance halls to dance to 1940s music.
Ha.
You could have easily seen a movie with a more regressive Captain America, but instead, this scene establishes that Steve Rogers is catching up to the modern day.
Things aren't so bad. Food's a lot better. We used to boil everything. No polio's good. Internet, so healthy.
And this also establishes that Steve is always the optimist who sees the good in the world and in people. But Sam's number one recommendation is
Marvin Gaye, 1972 Trouble Man soundtrack.
an album which you'll remember Zemo also extolled the virtues of.
This masterpiece, James, complete, comprehensive, captures the African American experience.
He's out of line.
He's out of line. But he's right.
Randomly. The movie is about a private detective named T who goes on the run from a crime boss and police after he's framed for murder. Very similar to what Steve goes through in this movie. And Zemo is right. This soundtrack is a banger. Yeah, we should do a video. Zemo was right, but like about Trouble Man. That's a great idea. High five. And then Steve gets a text from Natasha, and notice how S.H.I.E.L.D. phones even have their logo branding on the wallpaper.
It's announcing your identity on clothing off of the covert part of your job.
Notice how she tells him to meet at the curb, showing that she knows where he is, hinting at the surveillance state plot that's to come. And then she includes a smiley face.
Either one of you know where the Smithsonian is? I'm gonna pick up the fossil.
Natasha teases Steve like this all through the movie to keep him from taking himself too seriously. So this is to help him acclimate to the 21st century, and it works. Later, he even makes his own joke.
Did you do anything fun Saturday night?
Well, all the guys from my barbershop quartet are dead, so not really.
It's like Fury assigned her to Steve for this reason, to make sure he didn't think too hard about all the people he had lost. Her license plate reads 1IR31I, and this might be a reference to the Soviet-era ham radio R311, also known as Omega, as a callback to Natasha being Russian. And now, let's get to the vote sequence. Now, there is a lot to break down here. First of all, there's actually a mistake here. In the longitude and latitude numbers, two of them are listed for the north, but the second number should be 72E, which would place them just off the coast of India, which makes sense because later the Indian representative of the World Security Council says,
Considering this attack took place 1 mile from my country's southern waters, it's a bit more than that.
the name of the ship is the Lemurian Star, a reference to Marvel's undersea kingdom of Lemuria, which is a rival to Atlantis in the comics. Now, they actually did film this on a real boat, the Sea Launch Commander, and just like in the movie, the ship launches satellites. In fact, this ship is largely responsible for the plot of the movie. When they were scouting a different ship, the filmmakers learned that it was large enough to launch satellites, and then this gave them the idea of government surveillance and drone strikes being the center of the movie. You gotta remember, this movie was written just after Edward Snowden leaked NSA documents that revealed that government surveillance programs were watching us from space. We meet Frank Grillo as Brock Rumlow, who in the comics is the supervillain Crossbones. He's a mercenary who is more of a physical threat to Captain America, and I love how, in this movie, they reinvented him as a foot soldier for Hydra. He even has a grudging respect for Captain America all through the movie. Like, they may be on different sides of the war, but he recognizes that at least they're both soldiers. Their mission is to stop the pirates who took over the ship. But later in the movie, it's revealed that Fury actually hired the pirates to give Black Widow an excuse to download Project Insight from the ship's computer.
Oh, so that was true. I'm thinking that they were just saying that just to make him look like a villain. Okay. Damn.
Comics is the supervillain Crossbones. He's a mercenary who's more of a physical threat to Captain America, and I love how, in this movie, they reinvented him as a foot soldier for Hydra. He even has a grudging respect for Captain America all through the movie. Like, they may be on different sides of the war, but he recognizes that at least they're both soldiers. Their mission is to stop the pirates who took over the ship. But later in the movie, it's revealed that Fury actually hired the pirates to give Black Widow an excuse to download Project Insight from the ship's computer. Even this early in the movie, Fury was already suspicious of Project Insight. When Rumlow runs through the hostages, we see Jasper Sitwell. Now, in the comics, Sitwell is kind of a nerdy S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, more of a numbers guy. He first appeared in the MCU in the short called The Consultant, where Agent Coulson explained why they sent Tony Stark to pick a fight with Thunderbolt Ross at the end of The Incredible Hulk.
Here you have an unusual problem. You should talk. You should listen.
He later appeared in the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and frankly, it was a genuine shock when he turned out to be Hydra. The screen also says he is Honduran American, just like the actor Maximiliano Hernandez. And then we see Batroc the Leaper, who is like a Z-list Captain America villain from the comics. Now, he's a good fighter, but he's mostly known for speaking with an over-the-top French accent. Ah, now it is Batroc's turn.
I'm French. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
But for the movie, the character definitely isn't a joke. He is played by UFC champion George St. Pierre.
We tried to put together a fight that played to George St. Pierre's strengths. It's an honor getting beat up by Captain America.
Now, according to the book, The Reign of Marvel Studios, the Russos constructed every action sequence with a portfolio of visual references. And to show the frenetic pace of the boat fight, they used clips from the Bourne Identity and MMA fights, particularly how fast MMA fighters punch. And this is how they discovered St. Pierre and cast him in this role. And remember, he later returns as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They went through several designs for his costume, but landed on one that included comic-accurate colors. But they were able to still keep the grounded tone of the movie. The sequence is also when we were introduced to Steve's new uniform based on the design from the comics when he was director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Notice that now you can see his ears, just like in the comics. And it actually took them a while to get the design just right without looking silly. Now his suit is designed for stealth, and the muted colors also play into the color palette of the movie. As you can see in this image created by Movie Palette, the movie has a very dark color tone until a key moment at the end that we're going to talk about later. Now at the beginning, both his uniform and shield.
Wait, that was so hold on, whoa. So that was
and actually took
that
them
is
a while
weird. Who the fuck? That's crazy.
Designed just right without looking silly. Now his suit is designed for stealth, and the muted colors also play into the color palette of the movie. As you can see in this image, created by Movie Palette, the movie has a very dark color tone until a key moment at the end that we're going to talk about later.
I'm about to look that up.
Both his uniform and shield are more gray to reflect how he now lives in a morally gray world. Notice Steve and Natasha both have shield logos on their arm, but in Age of Ultron, Steve replaces his with an Avengers logo. And this carries on his main character's motivation from Captain America the First. Notice Steve and Natasha both have S.H.I.E.L.D. logos on their arm, but in Age of Ultron, Steve replaces his with an Avengers logo. And this carries on his main character's motivation from Captain America the First Avenger. He wants to join a team and belong. And notice that his new suit does still have the stripes on his abs, they're just much darker colors. And then we see that they are in a Quinjet, the plane that the Avengers used in the comics that we saw S.H.I.E.L.D. use in the Avengers film. And then we see the plane go into a quiet hover mode, but it does not have the stealth capability that Tony Stark added to the Avengers Quinjet in Age of Ultron.
We can't track him in stealth mode.
Steve continues the Marvel hero tradition of a superhero jumping out of the back of a plane.
I'm gonna read this later. Hold on.
Seriously, they do that a lot, but the reason he goes in without a parachute is so he doesn't get spotted and he can hit the water at maximum speed. The opening boat sequence is also key for catching us on how Captain America fights and how he's changed since coming out of the ice. The stripes on his abs.
Wow, watching this shit this morning, boy.
And then we see that they are in a Quinjet.
What, this
the
afternoon?
Avengers used in the comics that we saw S.H.I.E.L.D. use in the Avengers film. And then we see the plane go into a quiet hover mode, but it does not have the stealth capability that Tony Stark added to the Avengers Quinjet in Age of Ultron.
We can't track him in stealth mode.
Steve continues the Marvel hero tradition of a superhero jumping out of the back of a plane. Seriously, they do that a lot, but the reason he goes in without a parachute is so he doesn't get spotted and he can hit the water at maximum speed. The opening boat sequence is also key for catching us on how Captain America fights and how he's changed since coming out of the ice. Now, his fighting in the Avengers was pretty basic, but in this movie, we get to see how he has evolved.
We wanted to come out of the gates full force because we knew we were bringing a fresh version of Cap to people in this movie because of the fact he's evolved since audiences have seen him last.
But the sequence is also setting the tone for the grounded action we see in the rest of the film.
We're telling the audiences in the 2 years since the Avengers, he's done all this training. So when you drop him on that boat, we're catching you up to speed on how he fights now, that it's real world.
The Russo's guiding principle was, what would a superhero actually do to people in the real world?
He's gonna, what we call knockout shots, right? Every guy, when he leaves that guy's gotta be out, because if that guy gets up and pulls an alarm, everything's over. So you'll notice that, every guy he approaches is either thrown overboard or completely knocked out before he moves on to the next guy.
So the wire work in this fight is just used to augment a normal human's ability to jump, to show that Steve is just a little bit above everyone else. Also notice that when Steve jumps, you can hear the vibranium shield moving with each leap. Now they did film on a real ship that was docked, and then they kept all the cameras on one side, so they were always filming out to sea. And I want to point out some cool moments here in this fight. Steve speeds through the ship, takes a guy overboard, and then takes a knife off this guy and throws it at this guard's hand before he can ring the alarm. And And then when he throws the shield, he beats this guy up and then perfectly times his catch. But we also see him use his shield in more inventive ways, like when he puts the shield in front of this guy and then punches him through the shield. Also notice how the camera moves with every punch. It's not the same like fast-cutting style as the Bourne movies, but the camera does work with the action to enhance each punch and give it a fast-cut feel. This is actually the way they film professional wrestling. After Natasha lands, she suggests,
What about the nurse that lives across the hall from you? She seems kind of nice.
making me think that she definitely knew that Sharon was a SHIELD plant. The sequence was also inspired by James Bond movies, like when we see Steve fire a high-tech listening device in the glass to open her backdrop revealed where the hostages are. Sets up Natasha for her fight, she wraps her grappling hook around this guy's neck and then uses him as a counterweight to drop into the bows of the ship. And this actually was Scarlett Johansson being dropped 3 stories by the stunt team.
Yeah, there's about 3 stories on the side of the ship, and with steel all around, we dropped her down about 30 or 40
Little detail here, she's blinded by this body when she shoots these guys. So she still checks afterwards to make sure they're dead. I should note that the kick and flip off of the rail is her stunt double, Bobby Moneymaker. Double for her from Iron Man 2 all the way through Black Widow. Natasha is able to beat these guys up who are bigger than her by using their own body weight against them. And many of those moves were developed by Moneymaker.
Her style, and every time I come onto the movie, I go with the flow, and then I start trying to put in really widowed, kind of floaty, twisty, usually very type fun moves so that she still has that flair to it.
And the design team redesigned Natasha's bracelets for the movie and added a choker wire, which we see her use in MCU films after this point. And while this is happening, the rest of the team is coming down the side of the ship to burst inside. And this is all while Steve is listening to the backdrop. And this is an important story beat. It didn't want Steve to just run into the ship and beat everybody up. The movie has to establish that Black Widow is also a formidable fighter, but they also want to show the future Hydra agents in action so they will be a credible threat to Steve later in the movie. One of my favorite moments of the fight is right after the hostages are rescued. The focus is on Batroc, and then Steve emerges out of focus in the background.
Yeah, that was fire.
Slow it down, you can see that Batroc barely notices in time, and he does. I actually refer this to how the storyboard, the shot of Steve leaning toward the window and throwing his shield. The edit is much faster, more unexpected, and propels us into the Batroc fight.
Yep.
The fight kicks off with Batroc's signature moving kick, and because he catches Captain America off guard, we now understand this stunt is incredibly boss fight. And what is really impressive, though, is that Chris Evans did about 95% of the stunt work in this fight, except for that window kick here at the head. The choreography of the fight was designed around Schwarzenegger in the air to showcase his skills as an MMA fighter. Steve is able to fend off Batroc's moves, mostly by using his shield, and then goads him in French. Actually, what he says is, I thought you were going to use the shield. And Steve understands it because he also speaks French from his time in World War II. He says, but this also speaks to Steve's arc in the movie. He begins the film serving his country. He identifies himself as a servant of the state, and the shield is a symbol of his country. So Steve's arc in this movie is to realize that he is more than a shield, to embrace his own humanity. Even without the shield, he takes down Batroc easily and tumble into the server room where Widow is retreating Project Insight for Fury. Now this movie plays with this dynamic for the first half of the film. We're really not sure if we can trust Natasha or not. She is Russian, she could be a double agent, and this sets up her greater arc we're going to talk about later in the video. And then this hood throws a grenade. So Steve grabs Natasha because he knows he can get them out of the room faster than she can by herself. And shout out to Canadian Life for noticing this little detail. She shoots the window to weaken the glass first, so they're able to burst through it more easily. And then he goes from Washington, D.C. to a new building, Triskelion. Now this building first appeared in the Ultimate Comics work team headquarters for S.H.I.E.L.D. and that universe's Avengers. It actually breaks a rule in Washington, D.C. that no building can be taller than the Washington Monument. They designed the building to be large and sprawling, basically overtaking the Theodore Roosevelt Island. This is a metaphor for Project Insight sprawling and overtaking with personal liberties. Concept artist James Carson designed Triskelion to mimic the brutalist architecture that dominated Eastern Europe during the Cold War, further hinting that S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually run by an organization that wanted to create a totalitarian state. Now the lobby of S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters is similar to the lobby of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy in the Assaulting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode Siege, and when Blake was looking at the Hall of Fallen S.H.I.E.L.D. heroes, she even mentions and it's also similar to the headquarters for SWORD in Solid Bond Division. That agency basically replaced circular lock key to his damaged eye in case he was ever locked out of the system. And then we go to this elevator conversation, which continues the movie's recurrence of elevators used to hide secrets. This is a brilliant dialogue scene that uses a story to play out the movie's theme, freedom versus fear. Steve begins by saying, so already Steve is remarking how in the past the world was more pleasant, and this prompts Fury to tell his story. By the way, Samuel L. Jackson's granddad actually was an elevator operator. The world of the MCU of this movie is meant to mirror our own. I mean, we live in a national security state where people have sacrificed certain freedoms in order to feel more safe. But the Russos say in the audio commentary that Steve is removed from all of that because he lives through the Cold War in 9/11. Now, when Nick Fury begins his story about his granddad, it starts in that nice world that Steve remembers. His granddad is able to walk home with his kid money and feel safe. But then the neighborhood gets rougher. It's like the world grew more dangerous in Steve's absence. And then Fury talks about how his granddad kept a gun in his lunch bag. And notice the background. As soon as he mentions the gun, this is the moment when they descend into the underground hangar to see Project Insight's gunship helicarriers. The symbolism here is that the carriers are the gun hidden at the bottom of a lunch bag. But also, the deeper you dig, the more you find buried secrets. The Insight carriers are designed to eliminate threats before they happen. They also said that we were all reading the articles that were coming out about the question of drone strikes, preemptive strikes, and civil liberties. We wanted to put all of that into the film because it would be a contrast to Captain America's greatest generation way of thinking. Fury says the carriers fly through pulsar technology designed by Stark.
I got a few suggestions, but you got an up-close look at our trip.
And the close look he's referring to is the scene of the Avengers when he and Steve restarted the films together.
Saves you on some form of electricity.
Repulsor technology allows the carriers to run continuously in the air. This is actually an old school Cold War nuclear deterrent. We actually still have nuclear bombs in the air at all times to this day. Now the satellites that guide the carriers are an invasion of privacy. It's meant to symbolize the civil liberties compromised by the Patriot Act.
Satellites would be the terrorist DNA. Those outside of spider.
But Steve sees this quantum surge and recognizes it as just one more bomb.
This is free. This is free.
And remember, movies are the reason that Steve signed up for war to begin with. Fury calls Steve out for his hypocrisy.
Not a real possessor, something.
Come on, look what I can do. Ta-da!
Greatest generation. That's this master's stuff.
Mentioning the old SSR files is also foreshadowing the SSR headquarters we see later in the movie. But also, in the original Winter Soldier comic book run, Steve reveals that Bucky was always the guy that they would send behind enemy lines to do nasty work. We see a hint of this in the first Avenger montage of Bucky Snipes. But you get the feeling that that montage really did cut out a lot of the nastier stuff that Bucky had to do in order to win the war. So after Steve sees how the world is changing, he immediately retreats into familiar things, riding his motorcycle and going to the Smithsonian to visit what's left of his old friends. Now they actually did film this intro in the Pioneers of Flight Gallery in the Aerospace Smithsonian Museum, and they were terrified that the camera on the crane would damage one of these planes. For instance, this is the Spirit of St. Louis that Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic Ocean, and this plane was part of the USA's first mission to fly around the globe. Larry Mack is a Lockheed Vega, the plane that Amelia Earhart tried to fly around the world, and this one is a Fokker T-2, the first plane to fly across the continental United States. This is the Wright brothers' first plane, which they built in Ohio, and it's just behind a replica of NASA's Pioneer 10, the first craft to go past Jupiter. The camera goes past NASA's X another relic of Captain America. This quote on the wall is from President Matthew Ellis, who was president in Iron Man 3 and also in the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The film playing here is there to remind the audience about Steve's past in World War II, but also to show us that he is now regarded as a kind of living legend, and it's narrated by Lieutenant Dan himself, Gary Sinise.
A simple determination.
Now, the before photo of Steve is the same one that Peggy has at the end of First Adventure, and we see it later from her desk in Avengers Endgame. And the after picture is actually a BTS photo taken from this exact moment in First Adventure. The kids compare themselves to Steve's height is a callback to the recruitment station in the first movie, where Steve wasn't able to measure up to the ideal height of a soldier. And now, this scene is showing us how Captain America has grown into more than an idea than a person. And Steve is wondering if he can actually live up to this ideal in some Jake Wood. Now, the kid they're holding is also wearing a Captain America costume based off the design we saw him wear in the Avengers. The kid that sees Steve is actually one of the Russo brothers' nephews, Basil, and he was not fooled by the classic instinct to disguise the baseball cap.
It's not a disguise, we put ourselves in a baseball game.
And notice this other kid in the background, who the Captain Quicksilver. He actually filmed this scene in a real museum and the concept art of the movie. You can see they actually designed a shield fixture for the ceiling, but you can't really see it in any of the photos. In the background here, we see we saved over 160 lives in the Zonsu. That was his first mission in First Adventure. And this is a replica of his World War II bike with the Howard Stark modifications. Remember, the original bike exploded on his final mission. Now, this sequence serves two functions. It tells the audience information about Cap, but it also shows us that Steve no longer knows who he is. He's watching his own life play out in front of him. And this shows how his story has continued on without him there. In a way, at this point, he's like Thor in the first Thor. Now, the Bucky display is there to remind us of his best friend, but it also has a mistake. The text here reads that he was born in 1916, and the years below say he was born in 1917. Take that, Russo brothers. This stupid movie isn't so perfect after all. And the shot where Steve looks through the glass pane is a visual way to show us that Bucky is not only gone, but all that remains is a transparent, ghostly image of his friend. Remember that image for later on. The sequence also relives the events of the movie First Adventure, but now they feel hollow. For instance, he watches a film of himself, just like he did in Captain America First Adventure. But in that movie, the newsreel is optimistic and hopeful, but now he's revisiting a dead past. Notice how even the mannequins of the Howling Commandos don't have faces. They're more like ghosts than they are people. Now, in the film, Peggy mentions that. Alright, when Steve returned at the end of Avengers Endgame, writers Marcus and McFeely said that they imagined Steve had lived through the events of the MCU, while the Russo brothers claimed that Steve lived in an alternate reality and then returned to his old reality to give Sam the shield. So, depending on who you believe, Peggy is either talking about Steve saving her husband or telling the truth. Steve holds the compass with her eminence, a symbol to show that Peggy is always his true north, and as he tells her later, he actually joined S.H.I.E.L.D. because she helped him found it. Now, the compass first appeared in Israel for its last film. It was left on the deck of the Valkyrie when Steve crashed, and we see Steve looking at it again in Avengers Endgame to foreshadow that he will eventually choose to be with her by the end of the film. But in this film, looking at the compass is the reason he decided to mention Peggy. Now, Peggy being alive was actually revealed in a deleted scene in the Avengers when Steve was working at the Nova contact her, but then got distracted.
It is 10:33. Oh, it's night 2025.
Now, they didn't apply much makeup to Haley Atwell to make her look older. Instead, they employed a similar technique to how they made her skin in the first Avengers. They used digital effects. Atwell, an older actor, performed the scene.
I want to hit the rest of this bitch, man, but
And there's also some subtle set dressing here. Notice the pill bottles by her bedside and the English to be set behind Steve. Peggy is filled with images of her dying present, while Steve is framed by her vibrant past. This also aligns with her dialogue.
You save the world. We rather not get up. The world has changed. The best that we can do is to start over.
These words are crucial because they inspire Steve to later take down S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra. It all goes.
But also, Steve later takes her advice and travels back in time to start over at the end of Endgame. And then, in a heartbreaking moment, we see the extent of her dementia. Now, this is a brutal reminder to Steve that he cannot return to the past. Just like a newsreel, returning to Peggy is just going to be the
Never give up,
reminding us
kids.
that they were supposed to have a dance at the end of First Avengers. This also sets us up for their final ending in Avengers Endgame. Back at Fury's office, he plugs in the Lemurian star data that Natasha stole and then puts that into the system. So, for the first time in the MCU, we see Nick Fury not in total control of the situation. Then he has to take an elevator up to the top floor, symbolically showing us that there is someone even higher than him at this organization, Alexander Pierce, played by screen legend Robert Redford. Now, Redford agreed to be in the movie because he wanted to be in a film that his grandkids would see, and his casting was a brilliant choice. For one, his film 3 Days of the Condor was the entire basis for this movie's plot, but also Redford mostly spent his storied career playing heroes, so his turn as a Hydra asset is genuinely shocking. The Russo brothers compared his casting to Henry Fonda playing a brutal murderer in Once Upon a Time in the West. It's an American hero turned into a villain. Now, he is at a meeting of the World Security Council, the same group that Fury reported to in the first Avengers movie. Now, back then, they were still mysterious silhouettes, like the Council of 13 and the Venture Brothers.
The Council of 13, not Magic Angel, baby. We don't have magic windows to pass through.
Okay, I get it. But now the technology has advanced, and there are holograms projected onto screens. Now, we see this technology advance even further in Avengers Infinity War, when Ross and the rest of this council are just projected as images inside of a room. Only one member has returned from the Avengers, Pamela Hawley, but the most famous member of the original lineup was Gideon Mallett, played by Powers Booth. In the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was revealed that he too was a Hydra agent. And there's a couple of hints in this meeting that Pierce is secretly Hydra. When they ask about the hijacking, he says,
I care about one boat, I care about the fleet.
now this shows that he does not mind sacrificing individuals if it saves the entire world, just like the Project Insight carriers are planning to do. And this line,
Maybe we need someone to oversee us.
is basically saying that he's ready to hand the world over to Zoltan's algorithm. And like, after Fury raises his concerns, he name drops Iron Man, asking for a favor.
You gotta get Iron Man to spell it. He's smart. I just apply them. He's gonna meet.
I wonder if Tony was doing this kind of favor when Peter Parker tried to reach him in Spider-Man Homecoming. Notice how Pierce's office, like Fury's, is painted in these very dull, gray, brutalist colors. This matches the color palette of the movie, even Cap's uniform, to show that we are now living in a morally gray world. And then, this takes us to the warm environment of the VA, which is made of natural colors like yellow and orange lighting and brown wood paneling. The woman who talks about swerving from the plastic bag is Angela Russo Otsot, the sister of the Russo brothers. So we transition from two meetings. The World Security Council is concerned with big picture problems like wars, while this scene is showing us the real human consequences of those wars. And here we see what will become Sam's greatest superpower throughout his history in the MCU, his ability to empathize with others.
Some stuff we leave there. Other stuff you bring back. It's our job to figure out how to carry.
And at Avengers Endgame, Steve leads a similar group, perhaps trying to carry on this kind of work after Sam was snapped away. He opens up to Steve about losing a friend in the war, which immediately endears them to each other.
I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
And then Steve talks about how he doesn't actually know what makes him happy.
What makes you happy?
And this line is picked up again in his next movie, Age of Ultron, when the villain says,
God's righteous man, pretending you could live without war.
and then we go to one of the greatest action sequences in the MCU, Fury's car chase. It begins with Fury getting eyed by these three Hydra cops. And notice how the bad guys in this sequence are all either wearing SWAT helmets or sunglasses to hide their faces. This makes them appear more inhuman, like the big pilots in Top Gun or the agents in the Matrix movies. Notice his windshield is also a heads-up display, which is a technology that does finally exist today in luxury cars with a smart windshield.
Oh,
Then
really?
the cops pin him
Ha!
down, breaking his wrist immediately, which is why Fury injects himself with a local anesthetic. This is also why later in the movie he still has his arm in a sling. Now, the Russos said that they based this sequence on the bank heist in Michael Mann's Heat.
Experientially, this is still the most intense 8 minutes of filmmaking I've seen in 20 years in a movie theater. I repeat.
In that sequence, bank robbers are pinned down in a car, followed by a slow build-up when they're surrounded by police until a gunfight breaks out with automatic weapons. Both scenes are filmed handheld to place the viewer in the middle of the action. The Russos and Michael Mann also mounted cameras to cars, usually low to the ground to give the illusion of speed. And by the way, those shots are some of the few non-handheld shots in the entire movie. And in both movies, the police fire indiscriminately into crowds of civilians with their machine guns. Also, notice how the first bullet holes that hit the car windshield are from a POV shot, making us feel like we're the ones being shot at. And later, I especially love this POV shot where Fury runs from a guy, but we see it happen from inside of the car behind him. See, little details like this are what make this chase feel like it has stakes and involve real, actual people. In fact, they really did film this chase in downtown Cleveland, the Russo brothers' hometown, even mapping out parts of the chase by using Hot Wheels and chalk drawing. And the Penske truck that hits the Hydra agents at the end is the same truck that takes out Sitwell later in the movie. The Russo brothers even joked that this could be the Punisher, a lone wolf out there with his own vendetta. Now, they also based the beginning of this chase on a real car chase from Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2010, where a vehicle got stuck in traffic and just started bashing into the other cars. Fury's car is self-driving, just like Tony Stark's car in Age of Ultron. And notice the car says, meaning that Fury has a flying car, just like Howard Stark tried to build in the first Avenger, and like Phil Coulson's car Lola in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury is also famous for driving flying cars in the comics. Now, when the Hydra agents bring in the battering ram, that's really Sam Jackson in the car getting knocked around. But the chase features a mix of practical and digital effects, like filming Sam Jackson on a green screen for the close-up where he's leaning out of his window in this shot. Now, Fury lets them use the battering ram with the glass to weaken its integrity so he can shoot through it. In other words, he is using Hydra's weapons against them, just like how Hydra has secretly been using the weapons of S.H.I.E.L.D. to take control. And the console machine gun they built was an actual practical effect, built from real steel and not rubber.
That was dope.
$65,000.
Shit.
Price to pay for salvation.
And then we get the first on-screen appearance of the Winter Soldier. Now, I love how we first see him out of focus through bullet holes. It visually mirrors the pane of glass with Bucky's story from the museum, but now the glass is cracked and opaque because of all the gunfights and violence. Similar to how Bucky can no longer remember his past because of all of the years of violence and brainwashing. And then the camera slowly rack focuses to reveal the Winter Soldier, like he's a ghost who has just come from the shadows. He flips Fury's vehicle with the same detonator he used in the Thunderbolts. And of course, he has this iconic theme.
With more baking soda than other brands, Arm & Hammer toothpaste is usually black and stained. The difference is Arm & Hammer.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. By honoring your...
Well, pickled everything, Sam. The big deal meals. Sonic Smash, top of grills, pickles, pickled seasoned tots, pickled...
And that theme is actually a scream that was remixed. Now, on IMDb Trivia, there's a false rumor that they took Bucky's scream from First Avenger and remixed it. But actually, on comicbook.com, composer Henry Jackman gave an interview where he confirmed that this was actually his voice. He said, the Winter Soldier starts off unrelenting and brutal and mechanized and almost Terminator-like. But the difference between the Winter Soldier and the Terminator is that somewhere behind the wires and the mechanization is a character who we know and we care about. So one of the things I ended up doing with the Winter Soldier was I spent literally 10 days just on production with vocals because I wanted to get the sensation of a human trapped inside machinery. So I did a lot of vocal recordings and then processed the living hell out of them to get these tortured, time-stretched human cries of someone who has been so processed that it's become mechanized. But at the same time, you can still hear the human in there. So there you go. If somebody says that that's actually Bucky's scream, then they're wrong and they just get all their shit from IMDb. Now, they went through several designs for the Winter Soldier, starting with the original design by Steve Epstein from the comics. Epstein drew him with the domino mask, just like the one that Bucky originally wore. The art department experimented with the mask, but they set him on dark makeup around the eyes to mimic the look, but not actually show Bucky looking like the character from the 40s. So he is designed to be the visual opposite of Captain America, so his colors contrast with Steve's. His mask covers the opposite parts of his face. They also wanted the technology of his arm to just seem slightly ahead of what Tony Stark could do at this time. And they also made 3 versions of the arm. One was digital for action scenes, and there was a foam version for scenes where Sebastian Stan had to act, and they also made a urethane version that was metallized just to look cool. And this laser cutter that Nick Fury escapes with has the same blue beam as this one used to cut into the Valkyrie in First Avenger. And in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode that aired right after this movie was released, it was revealed that Fitz actually invented that laser cutter.
It's called the mouse hole. Cuts through anything really. I was like, everyone selected it for testing, but it never reached distribution.
And then we go to Steve arriving home.
I like how you referencing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Now, Sharon was
Nobody want to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
and first appeared in Tales of Suspense number 75, where, just like in the movie, Steve encounters her while he's in civilian clothes and he doesn't know that she is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. In fact, she reminds him of Peggy, who wouldn't have her first appearance until 2 Also, in that issue, Steve fights Batroc the Leaper just like in this movie. In the audio commentary, Joe Russo said that even though there's obvious chemistry between them, Steve still has a hard time asking her out because underneath all that muscle, he's still just that awkward 90-pound guy. And I love how awkward and hopeful he is after he asks her out. And after he says, she replies, which sounds flirty, but it's really a SHIELD agent not wanting her target to get out of her sight. The Russo said the reason Steve doesn't live in the Triskelion is because he wants to feel grounded. And we even saw this in Age of Ultron when he didn't really like living in Avengers Tower.
I don't think I can afford a place.
Now, on his shelf, we see a variety of historical books to make Steve Rogers appeal to a wide political spectrum. There's Madam President, about the possibility of a woman president, biographies of George W. Bush and Barack Obama, volumes of history about World War II, Sun Tzu's The Art of War, and The Night Stalkers, which is about the Air Force's covert airborne special ops. But he also has Hemingway's memoir, A Movable Feast, and The Catcher in the Rye, which oddly enough partially inspired Mark David Chapman to shoot John Lennon. So its inclusion in the movie might be a nod to the villain of the movie being an assassin. There's also Never Surrender, the life story of the general who was the commander of the Delta Force mission in Black Hawk Down, and my favorite book on the shelf is All the President's Men. This is the memoir of Woodward and Bernstein and how they exposed corruption in the Nixon administration. This event led to a distrust in federal institutions and spawned the conspiracy thriller genre of the 1970s. And of course, the film adaptation starred Alexander Pierce himself, Robert Redford. The message from the bookshelf is clear. Consider Steve Rogers America's dad. Now, in the concept art for Steve's apartment, you can also see posters for Harley Davidson, World War II Army recruitment posters, and posters that he hasn't bothered to hang up yet, showing how his life of Captain America is actually taking priority over his life as Steve Rogers. Outside, when Sharon told him,
But I think you left your stereo on.
he knew this wasn't the case because he had a vinyl record player that doesn't loop. The song played is It's Been a Long, Long Time by Harry James and Kitty Cowan. It was actually released in October 1945 after Steve went into the ice, but it's easy to see why Steve likes this song. Harry James was very popular in the 1940s, and the song is a romantic sweep about a couple being reunited, exactly what Steve longs for with Peggy. And it's actually been used several times in the MCU. Peggy and Steve, of course, danced to it at the end of Avengers Endgame, but it was also featured in Loki's Season 1 finale during the opening scrub to the Sacred Timeline.
It's a friend from work.
Yeah, I know. It's also in Season 2, Episode 5 of What If.
What? Faster. Cars, computers, the news moves fast.
Dancing?
And this is my favorite. The song inspired a level in the Star Wars Lego game where Wanda makes Steve hallucinate a dance with Peggy.
Oh wow.
So Steve sneaks in through a window
In a
closest
Lego
to
game.
the
Get your
shield, just
stupid
like we see
ass
here
out
in
of here.
concept art. Fury says, and as we found out in Secret Invasion, Fury does have a wife. She is a Skrull SHIELD agent who is completely unable to detect that Hydra had infiltrated SHIELD for decades. Then Fury is shot with ball-piercing rounds, and as he hands over the algorithm, he says,
Don't trust anyone.
which is good timing because that's right when Sharon enters, a person who Steve thought was a civilian who then turns out to be a SHIELD agent. And this is a brilliant way to tell the audience that, hey, there is literally nobody in this movie that we can trust. And this makes us even doubt Natasha. Notice when she calls, she says,
Foxtrot is down.
but the reply says, but Sharon didn't even say that shots were fired, but the agents on the other end already knew because Fury had his apartment bugged. Steve once again chases down an assassin just like he did in First Avenger, and he is once again an unstoppable force, even running through this office building like the Hulk in the Avengers. Just like in First Avenger, nothing can slow Steve down until the Winter Soldier catches his shield. Now, from the concept art, we can see they originally were going to film this with Steve throwing the shield upwards, but I like that he throws it on the level because it implies that Steve and Bucky are on equal physical footing. Also, this assassination scene with the Winter Soldier targeting from a nearby roof is lifted from the very first panel of the Winter Soldier that we saw in Captain America Volume 5, Issue 6. Then we go to Natasha arriving at the hospital, and there was actually a deleted scene where a cop tries to stop her and she breaks his arm. Even when Maria Hill
I wanna see that.
it's Natasha's reflection that stays in focus. Notice that as she and Steve look through the glass, Natasha is the person who stays in focus. In the audio commentary, the Russo said that they did this so they can make the scene all about her and focus on what she was feeling. Steve didn't trust Fury, but to Natasha, this is a mentor and a father figure. One of the doctors is played by director Joe Russo, who returned for cameos in other movies that I'm going to talk about in future videos. Natasha is staying with Fury's corpse until Hill says,
Need to
take her.
hinting that she was always in on this with Fury, helping him fake his own death. In the hallway, when Steve stares at the vending machine, notice how the sound drones out and then slips into diegetic sound, that is, sound within the scene. The Russos were actually inspired by this audio transition in The French Connection. Back at the Triskelion, Pierce shows Steve a video of Batrocc's interrogation, which was carried out by writers Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus, making cameos in the film. He tells Steve that Fury paid Batroc to hijack the ship, which is true, but Fury did it so Natasha can steal the Project Insight data. Then, he tells Steve that Fury inadvertently actually inspired him to join Hydra by showing him that he had to break rules to save lives.
Save the lives of a dozen political officers, including my daughter.
Then he gives Steve a version of the advice that Peggy gave him.
Sometimes the best thing is to start over.
To build a really better world sometimes means having to tear the old one down.
Again, we're seeing the theme of duality occur in this movie. Steve and Bucky are opposites of each other, and S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra are two sides of the same coin. And there are a couple of cool Easter eggs in the cinematography here. The shot of Redford looking out a window is an homage to Cliff Robertson's character in 3 Days of the Condor. And Redford is also filmed from Steve's hip, like they're gunslingers waiting to draw. Because that's what this scene is, two men trying to size each other up. And then we go to one of the most famous fights in the MCU, the elevator. Notice how, before he boards, we can actually see the Watergate Hotel in the background, which is another nod to the 1970s conspiracy thrillers that this film is based on. Again, there's a metaphor here with an elevator going down as new secrets are revealed. Notice how, as they pass by each floor, it sounds like a heartbeat. Now, we begin in an empty elevator with transparent walls and a ceiling, so it's like we begin in a bright world, the bright, optimistic world that Steve came from. But as more people file in, the elevator becomes darker. It has the effect of making Steve feel claustrophobic, but also it's calling back to the darkened basements where secrets are revealed in other scenes from the movie. Now, after Steve clocks the soldier gripping his gun and a bead of sweat on this guy's face, he says,
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
I love that line so much, which is why we made it into a t-shirt with an RPG of Cap deciding to either say that line or hail Hydra. If you want to buy that shirt at our merch store, links are below. The elevator fight actually set the tone for the rest of the film.
We took 7 days to shoot that one scene in the elevator. And that was the first scene we shot in the film.
The Russos and stunt crew were meticulous with their planning.
What we did is we made a mock-up elevator, the same dimension what we were going to use.
And action.
And they used that set to model out the entire fight.
So when we show up on the day, it's just a matter of we've already done it. Let's just set up the cameras and shoot.
Oh, I'm excited.
In the first draft, it was actually a chase through the Triskelion compound, but this scene has always ended the same way, with Steve falling and landing in the lobby. So this is actually a key scene in the entire MCU because, as the Russos say in the audio commentary, this is the moment when S.H.I.E.L.D. goes bad. 8 movies have built up to this, and we're just as shocked by the reveal as Steve is. So the tension is key in ratcheting up this betrayal. So this sequence begins with this inevitable feeling that Steve is in over his head and that things will end badly for him. The Russos use Brian De Palma's blowout as a model, where Jack has the best of intentions but ends up defeated and heartbroken by the end of the film. So Steve starts by dodging this baton, and then they detach the suitcase handle into a magnetic handcuff. When stuntman Guy De Silva was on the corridor crew, he said their direction at the start of the fight was,
Now let's all act like we're really busy. Get busy. Fall into each other.
Now, the first thing they do after hitting stop is to take Steve's shield from him. At first, Steve struggles against everybody trying to pin him down, but as soon as he overcomes them, the music kicks in. So this is an important character moment for Steve. He now has clarity and he knows who his enemy is. The guy who was sweating earlier has the second handle cuff, which Steve kicks to the wall, maybe giving Rumlow the idea to then kick Steve's arm so the handle does pin his right arm against the wall. And this also shows how much of a threat Rumlow is. Steve has trouble fending him off when he has one arm metaphorically behind his back. And notice the shock baton works on Steve, just like how Yelena Steger slowed down another super soldier, John Walker, in the Thunderbolts. And I love this moment when Steve throws a guy in the air and then there's a literal smash cut to Sitwell monitoring the fight, which tells us that holy hell, everybody is in on this and nobody can be trusted.
The really cool thing about Chris Evans is that he's super talented, athletic guy. He retains things amazingly well. I mean, I'm blown away.
Now on the Corridor crew, Eve DeSilla praised Chris Evans, saying,
Chris Evans is dope because he'll come in and he has a dance background. He used to tap dance. So he understands rhythm and beats, and fight choreography is actually closer to dancing than it is to actual fighting martial arts.
So he grabs this guy's baton and uses it against the fighter, and then shows that he did not skip leg day, using a split kick and then prying the bracelet off the wall by using his full body weight. Then, when he faces off with Rumlow, he says, further showing how Rumlow respects Steve as a fellow soldier.
Sorry, you got an elbow. Is that good?
Now when he throws him into the ceiling, this is a wire pull, and then we see this overhead shot where bodies and Steve's shield mysteriously appear, even though they weren't there a few seconds before. When Steve leaps from the elevator, it's also a metaphor for him completely rejecting the Hydra system of control and the spy game of secrets. And when he lands, he's able to survive because the vibranium shield absorbs the impact, but I love that it still hurts a little bit. And then we get the big set piece of the escape, Steve taking down a Quinjet. Now, this imagery of a hero taking down a large, non-human opponent is downright mythological. It's like Beowulf fighting the Grendel, or a knight fighting a dragon. In this case, the Russos were inspired by another great 1970s film, The Car Chase in The French Connection. They compared Steve facing the Quinjet to Popeye Doyle's determination to chase that train down in that film. And the sequence plays out pretty much like it is in the animatic. Steve uses his shield to disable a rotor, and then uses his bike to leap onto the top of the Quinjet so he can disable its rear engines. Then he hangs off the side and escapes when it crashes. But the animatic includes a soldier watching this happen, who then lowers his gun when he sees that Steve just took down a frickin' Quinjet. Now this is actually a new design of a Quinjet, larger and more heavily armored than the stealth plane we saw at the start of the movie. These models were built specifically with heavier weapons to serve on the Project Insight helicarriers. And there's also a deleted scene that takes place right after this where Pierce announces,
Captain America is a fugitive.
which further cements that Alexander Pierce is also part of this conspiracy. Now there was another deleted scene that was never filmed that would have actually featured Clint Barton right here. Joe Russo told Screen Rant that originally Hawkeye was going to be one of the agents chasing Cap through Washington, D.C. They planned a sequence where he confronts Steve outside the city. Steve pins him down.
That would have been dope.
He's actually trying to help
But they
him
would have had to make them meet up with Natasha though, so yeah, I already
because he
understand.
was filming American Hustle
Oh,
and
that too.
Messenger. The writer
Okay.
said they also filmed a sequence where they said where Hawkeye was, but it wasn't used in the movie. In Age of Ultron, it's kind of implied that he was with his wife and kids. So all of this leads into another deleted scene where S.H.I.E.L.D. agents track down Steve's uniform with the tracker. Notice we actually have this like Doom-esque first-person shooter angle. But then they discover his uniform is in some random guy's gym bag, and this is why Steve is wearing a hoodie, sweatpants, and sneakers in the next scene. And also, metaphorically, this is Steve shedding the skin of that darker, morally gray suit, and molting into the colorful hero we see at the end of the film. So this takes him back to the hospital, where Natasha tells him the spy ghost story of the Winter Soldier.
He's credited with over 2 dozen assassinations in the last 50 years.
So it's a ghost story.
Then she shows him her scar, saying,
I've had bikinis.
but in Iron Man 2, we do see a photo of Natasha in lingerie, where we can see that she clearly does not have that scar. But the photo could have been taken before 2009 when the Winter Soldier shot her. Now, in the comics, Natasha actually had a romantic relationship with the Winter Soldier for years. In fact, years later, they retconned her origin story to say that she was actually decades old and they knew each other during the Cold War. Then Pierce does some clever politicking, tricking the World Security Council into doubling down on Project Insight and making them think that it's his idea.
This council moves to immediately reactivate Project Insight.
I think right here the movie is doing a great job of still making us think that the council could be the bad guys and Alexander Pierce could still be a hero. Steve and Natasha go to an Apple store to use the drive, and then the guy who helps them is played by D.C. Pearson, a veteran of the Donald Glover sketch group Garrett Comedy, who also worked with the Russo brothers on the show Community. And there was another deleted scene here where Sitwell shows the Apple Store cam footage to Maria Hill, and when she messes with him,
That's Captain America you're after. He tends to inspire a certain amount of loyalty.
he orders her off the assignment, and this is when Hill knows that Sitwell cannot be trusted. In this scene, she also says that she is planning Fury's funeral, which is probably why he has a gravestone at the end of the movie. On the escalator, the troops close in on them. And by the way, this is Joss Whedon and his son. So Steve wants to be tactical, like a soldier, while Natasha thinks like a spy. And then later on in the truck, she asks him,
Where did Captain America learn how to steal a car?
which is a sly reference to this scene from the terrible 1990 Captain America movie. notice that she has her feet on the dash, a habit that we see her continue when she's at her desk in Avengers Endgame. And then she presses him.
Was that your first kiss since 1945?
And this conversation is similar to his discussion with Peggy in First Avenger.
Women aren't exactly lining up to dance with the guy they might step on.
So, I think in this moment, Steve might even be thinking of Peggy, which is the real reason he doesn't date, because his heart belongs to someone else. But I should mention that in the show She-Hulk, Bruce Banner does confirm that Steve did lose his virginity on the USO tour.
Captain America!
And then she tells him to make up a new life for himself, saying,
Truth is a matter of circumstances. Some all things don't happen all the time.
and then
Well, that's it, bud. I put the cover over my YouTube mic. And yeah, I'm about to get off the Twitch first, as I've been on here a little longer, so